killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So then you said that they put billions of my access. Yes, you said. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles are making it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see the rhythm in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Look, ain't no remorse in my blood cell. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I got you. Let it ride real quick. Look.
City eyes, it's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation faulty to fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. Revenge taste sweet, told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Java, come on, man. Dark sands get broke down. riding through Evanston with Mark Quad. Telling me how them crackers turn his childhood to a ghost town. Focus out, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them mother niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen profits under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty to handle. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo, spirit Asian, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Hate me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yara just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than Baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
Damn. We in here, man. One West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, man. We've been big steppers since 1969, holding it down under Commander Junior Hunter, man. A lot of y'all won't understand the life that we live, man. We came a long way. Unattended project kids. Some of y'all can't relate. But this is what made us big steppers, man. This is what changed our lives. And we here now.
One West, y'all. I'm Shy Excel, man. And let me tell you something. We different over here. We big steppers. Let's go.
Go get a big stepper. Hard body, One West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper. Hard body, One West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, whoa. Yo, what you say? No, we don't play. You out your mind. Watch what you say. That type of shit could get you line. And if you search, then let me tell you what you'll find. The city is mine. Just a mud who became the pick of the litter. Now my name ring bells when you talk heavy hitters. Nice nigga, but don't make me transform like Thriller. Sam Cook a nigga beat like I was born by the river. Go get her, you piss her, you get off of the shitter. Can't put you in the spotlight, you niggas are with her. Keep an eye open around for any nigga that slither. Cause it ain't no sunshine here like Bill Withers, whoa. Fuck you know about this life I live. How you gon' talk to me like I ain't lose no rib, like I ain't lose no crib, ain't lose no kid, ain't sleep in my car and I ain't lose no gig. Shit, I never gave an order that I ain't did, and I ain't never take a fucking thing that I wouldn't give. Always kept it a bill, homie, I ain't fit, and if I had to go sit, then I just do my bid. Yo, my whole team full of steel beams we can't fold. Your whole circle full of some squares you can't roll. That's why we always take it to levels you can't go. Talk shit, but you can see me with these hands though. If it's a kill like Cyclops, these niggas wanna see me in Pine Box. Know that on my watch, got a better chance to rewind clocks when you quit, nigga, when time stops, bitch. Go get a big stepper, hard body, One West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper, hard body, One West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified One West hitters, whoa.
This flow is award-winning. Torment him, bomb to death, I'm bored with him. Trash him, throw him away with the has-beens. Ice cold with the flow, I'm Alaskan. You was in the fucking jungle in the past tense. I be with the lions, they my friends, Carol Baskins. And like her, they'll never find a body. Tiger stripe tracksuit, feeling like Joe Exotic. Shit, I don't know what it is, but I know I got it. Feeling like Alonzo, surgical with the shotty. All you see is skull and bones, Illuminati. Probably I be the illest nigga to do it. I just talk shit on the beat and they call it music. I just come provide you with heat, remain the coolest. You ain't never been in the street with all the shooters. I was sipping yak with rioters and looters. Gotta keep my boots laid, shoot straight, run up on you with the loose 8 in a screw face. It's bad out here, my style effortless. 2 hands hugging a Ruger, so affectionate. Lot of suckers don't want war, I'm respecting it. Biggest stepper, snatch your plate, the hood starving. Cause they got beard shoe trades like James Harden. Straight from NY to Philly, we still mobbing.
Go get a big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas, certified one West hitters, whoa. Go get a big stepper, hard body, one West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas, certified one West hitters, whoa. 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 Whoa.
Y'all ain't ready yet, man. Here it come right now. Prepare yourself. Here comes the boom.
Here come the boom. Look who just stepped in the room. Got soldiers in every direction. As long as they stepping in tune. I been all black with the groom. Watching Babylon fall to doom. Lord know I'm ready and I know that you know that her love is deadly, but I am immune. These niggas talking rude to whom? That's a spot, you'll be moving soon, and you'll be leaving shortly. Still walking with them angels, yeah, they still enforcement. Got a whole lot of zeal, I can't get it off me. Plus I'm winning like I got a blue ribbon on me. He ain't one what, bitch, I'm begging for it. See, I knew these niggas like to do that pillow talking, so that's why I bought a Glock to the slumber party. Got it out the dust. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West nigga, hush. I don't want to hear it, keep the tone down. Had a couple complications, but it's on now. So you can kill it, speculation, bitch, I'm thrown down. And if you want a conversation, set his zone down. Nigga, what he say, I ain't hear him, I done zoned down. Can't walk, this a low mouth. I'm 44, I'm on another level with it. These niggas never listen, so I let the devil get his ass. I try to tell him, I'm a rebel nigga. Better be careful if you ever think I'm stepping in my path. Cause it ain't no game, stay in your lane. Now I'm playing twisted metal with his ass. Got it out the gut. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Revenge to my main bitch, I think I got a crush. And she know that I got some sick shit inside me. But you know ISUPK versus everybody. Got the top through the buttons like he Teddy Riley. Now I'ma race through the track like a Ricky Bobby. Got it out the dust. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. Gotta keep it with me, it's a must. Got it out the dust. I just began to it pretty much. That brotherhood of weapon, gotta keep it in the clutch. If it ain't one West nigga, huh?
You heard what he said. If they want West nigga, hush. Watch your goddamn mouth, man. We ain't the same. We not the same. We'll never be the same. We react different. We live different. And we're gonna keep on pushing this truth until your Howard shall return, sucker. And y'all niggas out there, y'all lukewarm. Y'all can never be us. Cause we hot. Burning hot. Let's get it.
Follow up on you. All right. Y'all about to y'all shot broke it thumb.
Y'all about to outside, broke a thumb. Y'all should mouth about shimmy outside, clap it up. Let's get it on, Akim, Guafian.
Yajimata.
Ooh wee. You ready to rock?
Concert.
Okay, solid. Who do we have in here tonight, Asher?
Right now is just yourself, sir.
The water.
And HQ, sir.
Give HQ headquarters a hand. In Harlem, New York City, Jerusalem, give them a hand. All the Akim and Aguafian down there. We'll rock it on tonight. We'll get to our topics. Kyrie, Irving, Kanye West. We'll do all of those topics. Everything else that you want to talk about. The meaning of life. All of the answers that the preachers, the Christians, and the rabbis never gave you. You'll get them in here tonight, Ak, if you want them, all right? 1 second, let me make sure. Oh, Quad, you good to go? I'm in the class. Everything all right? No sweat. We should work it up. All right. Let's rock and roll, Akim. Questions?
Any questions in the room?
Come in.
Turn it down from over there. Hold on 1 second, sir.
I'm good. So also, we here with a young brother tonight, hooking up everything. Give him a hand. Here he comes. He's rocking it out. Let him. There you go. Get it on. Most High in Christ, the water. All right. As you said, no questions up?
No, sir. We were just checking. Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you fine.
Yeah, perfect. We have 2 questions online. Any questions in the room? Counsel, you have a question in the room. Can you give Hari the mic, Bubba shot?
Shalom, sir, Learn of Christ. My question was on. I just wanted to. I mean, I know our stance on false prophets, but I just wanted to get your take on this. This Amalekite over in Israel, who they're proclaiming as the Messiah. I think they call him the Yanuka, and he's healing people and doing miracles, and they're saying he's the Messiah. And they even started posting up flyers here in Brooklyn, in New York, saying the Messiah has come, and he's supposed to be ushering in the building of the temple. I just wanted to get your take on that.
All right, and your question is about rabbis or this particular rabbi?
This particular guy.
Okay, this particular guy I've never heard of at all, this cat. So I'm just going to base my answer on what you're saying about him, correct?
Sir.
Well, first of all, he cannot be the Messiah because he's a white man. You understand that, right?
Sir.
And I don't know if you know this, Akin. This is not talking about them racially, but I'm talking about what they've done. Martin Luther King said this: judge not a man based on the color of his skin, but the context or the content, Salakia, of his character. And when we talk about the so-called white man, we're not talking about the color of his skin. We're talking about the content of his character. We're talking about what they've done. And no white man could ever be the Messiah because white people are what we need to be saved from. Do you understand that?
Khan.
It's like asking a shark to save you in the water or asking a grizzly bear to save you in the woods. You need to be saved from them. They're the danger. Do you understand, young brother?
Khan, sir.
So no white man could ever be the Messiah, could ever be the Savior, could ever be that because they're the villain. They're the people that we need saving from. And that's not based on the color of their skin. That's based on the content of their character. You understand, right?
Khan, sir.
And furthermore, he could never be the Messiah because the Jews are black. The Jews are not the white people out there in Bensonhurst. They're not the white people in Brooklyn. The Jews are black. And now, should that be a sad thing for Jewish people? No, because Jewish people have won the day. They win today. They've won in the past. What you're seeing right now all over the world is the society who are in charge today staking their claim on the future. And that they cannot have. They can't have that. They have today. They own everything today. They have all of the love and support of everyone today, including most black people and most Hispanics. And they have yesterday. They own the time of the past. They own the old world is theirs. They were in control then as well. But the future belongs to you, young brother. Why can't you have it? Why can't you own the day when our king returns, who is a black man from the tribe of Judah? Do you understand?
Khan, sir.
Abala Yehuda Kedarlu La'idi. That's Yiddish for the Jews are black. Here, the Jews are black. That's Jeremiah, the 14th chapter. You understand?
Khan, sir.
So those are the reasons that he's just another nut, some idiot that they've had many times. They thought Yitzhak Rabin was the damn savior a long time ago. He was not at all. He was just another white man who now is able to fool people in Brooklyn. And the majority of Jewish people will consider him a nut and a lunatic any goddamn way. and that's that. You understand?
Khan, sir, the water.
No problem. Any other questions?
Any other questions in the room?
Go ahead,
if I could, sir, I got a question in Mark 2:26. My question was, besides David being the king, was he counted as a priest based on the scripture here, sir? Right?
Go ahead,
Okay. This is Mark 2:26. How he went into the house of God. I'm starting at 25, sir. And he said unto them, have you never read what David did when he had need and was and hungered, he and they that were with him? How he went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar the high priest, and did eat the shewbread, which is not lawful to eat but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him.
Is your question, was David a priest?
Was David counted as a priest, sir?
No, he was not a priest. That showbread was for the priests to eat. Do you understand? Give me the precept that I need. It's in the you're not reading from the New Testament, right?
This is New Testament, sir.
Read the other account of you read it already, the one in the Old Testament, correct? I believe you're missing a phrase of which tribe is a phrase missing up above this. Is this where it starts from, or is there a little more?
2:26.
Verse 27 will say, and he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath.
That's what you need. That's what I'm looking for. Now, David was not a priest. The Levites were the priests of that time. David was not a priest at all. But the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. The priests being the ones that are supposed to eat the showbread. It doesn't mean that the children of Israel should die because the showbread is for the priests. You understand that?
Okay, sir.
That's the point. It wasn't because he was a priest, but he was an Israelite, and he was doing something extremely important for God. And that law does not mean you should die. That's not the point of the law, which once again, let's say the priests, where did David get the bread from if you read the story already? Do you know?
Where they get the bread from?
Yeah, how did he get the bread?
I can't remember. I don't know, sir.
The priest gave him the bread. That's how he got the bread. 13 priests gave him the bread to eat. Whose bread was it? You might need to go to the story of Hazahar real fast. Go to the story when they gave him the bread, and that might explain the whole thing, all right? Let me get my Spanish together for the end of class so I can keep practicing, all right, while you're doing that. Stand by. When you have it, you let me know. God damn it. Hold on. What's that? You know where you're going up?
I'm trying to go to 2 Samuel, sir.
Someone help him out, all right, for time's sake.
1 Samuel 21st chapter, 21st and 6.
I got first Samuel 21:6 by Captain Shemorah, sir. So
go ahead and read it.
So the priest gave him hallowed bread, for there was no.
Read that part one more time.
So the priest gave him hallowed bread.
Hallowed means holy or separate bread, meaning this bread was not for everyone. This bread belonged to the priests. You understand, Hazahar? Did David break into the temple and steal the bread?
La, sir.
Did he take the bread while no one was around?
La, sir.
How did he get the bread?
The priest gave him it, sir.
Whose possession was the bread?
It was David's possession, sir.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it was the priest's possession.
The bread belonged to the priest. And the priest decided that it was better that this Judite eat this bread than that he die. Do you understand? That's their decision. It wasn't unlawful at all. It wasn't breaking any law at all. It was the priests actually understanding the law. They understood it. And so many times, because blacks and Hispanics learn from the other nations, we learn about God from other people. people who were not given God's law, we learn about God's law from them. And because of that, we don't understand the law either. This is not a transgression of the law that hallowed that bread. This is a fulfillment of it. These priests who were given this bread had this bread by commandment of the law. It was theirs. It was called the showbread to make sure that the priests always had bread. And when the people came into the temple, they knew that the priests were being fed. They were being taken care of because there was the bread that was up there so everyone could see it. Everyone saw it. It was the showbread. You understand, right?
Okay.
And then one day David came to them hungry with nothing, starving, being an innocent man on the run from King Saul at that time, who was unrightfully trying to kill him. And what did those priests do? They took that bread that was theirs, given to them by the commandment of God, and gave it to a man from the tribe of Judah, brother, knowing that they were not breaking God's law, but they were fulfilling the law, because no one is supposed to die because the priests are given this bread. That's not the intent of the law, to kill every other tribe or to kill righteous men who are on a mission from God. You see, these priests understand something that most of you black people, because of your conformity to this world, you don't understand that many times to be able to serve God, you will have to do something that other people will consider is without class or without dignity or politically incorrect. But meanwhile, it's absolutely right. It's completely right, even though the masses of society are very comfortable with doing something very evil, and then with something else, they'll never even tread upon it at all to disrespect it. Like no black person would ever want to be called a racist ever. But black people have no problem being drug dealers, have no problem being homosexual, have no problem being called murderers. They're fine with that, but they just don't want to be called racist. You can make songs about being a murderer and being a drug dealer, but you don't want anyone to ever think that you're anti-Semitic. No, because that would be wrong. But murdering black people and murdering rappers and selling drugs to your own people, that is acceptable. That's considered something that is politically correct to do. These priests did something that was not wrong at all. And Christ brought it up in the New Testament to bring up another thing that was not wrong at all. And when I say not wrong, it was not breaking God's law. Do you understand?
Go.
All right, next. Who's in the house tonight? Who do we have here?
Baltimore just joined us, sir.
Mm-hmm. Give Baltimore a hand. The brothers and the sisters down there, Shalom Akim, Agwafim. Agwaf Salaki. Let's get it on.
Also, Yakuzar has a question, sir.
Please.
Shalom, Adawan.
Shalom.
If I may, sir, I wanted to understand in Genesis, the first chapter, the Most High's position in that first chapter, because the word that is here in every verse, it's plural. It's Alahayam. It's not singular. So I wanted to understand.
Go ahead and read it out.
Salaki, sir. I had it in the Hebrew. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So here in God, in the Hebrew, is Alahayam. And in every verses, it's Alahayam. So I wanted to understand the Most High's position.
Meaning it's plural, correct?
It's plural.
Right, it's plural because it's speaking about the angels. What it says in Hebrew is the angels created heaven and earth. And the angels created everything, which is why then you'll read down and he'll say, and then the power saw it and said, it is good. So you want to think about it like a military operation, which is the best way to understand the kingdom of heaven and the best way to understand the Israelite school of UPK. The president doesn't go and invade Iraq. The president doesn't build a bridge in Fallujah. The president gives orders to who to build the bridge in Fallujah, Levi?
He gives orders to the people that will be under him that's in control of the construction.
the Army Corps of Engineers is specifically who would do a job like that. They would go and build infrastructures in places that America invades. You understand?
Come on.
But the president gives the order that a bridge is built in Fallujah, right? And then once the bridge is done, then whoever was in charge of the bridge would send back to headquarters and give the specifics about the bridge. And then whoever is in charge would say what?
Will give the report.
And then when he saw the report, the person in charge would say what?
We'll say,
he'd make a decision. He'd say what?
He will say, well done, if you have completed the job properly.
If he likes it, he will say, it is good. It is good if they completed the job properly. And that's what you're reading about in Genesis. You're reading about the Lord's Army Corps of Engineers, the Lord's soldiers, the Lord's warriors building the heaven and the earth, building it with their power, with their skill, with their ability, with their resources. And then the Most High is saying, it is good. He likes it. Keep going. And also, you can go down to the us and let us make man after our own image. You familiar with that, right?
That's in the second chapter.
The us is the same reason, because it's not just God. And the important part is to shake the movies off of your mind, which is the problem when you read the Bible. It's like kind of a God waves his magic wand and everything appears. You get my point, Levi?
Right.
That's not how it was. It's an operation. He gives an order, and then the angels go and make what he wants happen. That's how it is in heaven. That's how it is on earth. That when Christ was around, he gave an order. He sent them out in twos to go teach. He told them how to do it, and they went out and did it. In the Israelite School of UPK, Commanding General Yohana gives an order, and it's our job to go complete what he wants. And if he likes it, he'll say it's good. It's how everything is established under God. It's Moses and Aaron. It's everything. It's Moses teaching and Aaron speaking. Do you understand? Any other questions?
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
What I wrestled with was in verse 4.
Go ahead.
Because in verse 4, when it says, and God saw the light that it was good, over here also is plural, it's alahayam. That's why the question came about.
It's now just break it down based on what I just said about the us. Think of the Army Corps of Engineers and the whole thing I just said. I just said it just now about the reports and about them. Come on.
So over here, it will be the Most High together with the angels.
That's exactly what it is. Right? Because that's how it would be with the Army Corps of Engineers. Do you understand or no? You know about the 24 elders that sit beside the Most High's throne, right? And do you know that they sit by the Most High's throne for what purpose?
Counsel.
They have crowns on their heads. You familiar with that, correct? And what does that mean, the fact that they have crowns on their heads?
That means they have they are worthy of their seat.
They have authority. They're supervisors. They have command over armies of angels. Do you get my point?
And
it's just like a military. So it's just like the Army Corps. The president gives an order, who gives it to some general, who gives it to some colonel, who gives it to some lieutenant who's in charge of the Army Corps of Engineers. They all sit back and they try to follow the orders and they work it out and they send the orders back, like you said, the reports. They send it back up and they all look at it and go, it is good. It's the same thing with let us make man in our own image, meaning they're looking at people and they're going, I see this. We should do this with them. And the whole goal is to create something that the Most High God is pleased with, that he likes. That's the point. So in a way, he gave an order and you want him to go, yeah, that's exactly what I want. That's what I want. Are you familiar with when they decided, when they wanted to kill that king? Who was that cat that they wanted to kill?
Was it the Amalekite king that Saul refused to kill?
No, I think it's the king that was an Israelite king. Is it Ahab, the one they said, let us become a lying spirit in the mouth of all his counselors? Pull that quickly, fast as you can possibly pull it, all right? Because I have got to get to Kyrie Irving. And the main point I want to get to is I want to chastise rabbis tonight. To chastise every rabbi, every Catholic priest, and every Protestant minister. Every last one. But of course, I'll answer your questions first. Captain Mawaquad said that we need to check out Asher. You there?
Sir?
Captain Mawaquad said we need to check out Kyrie Irving's interview.
I have one of the interviews that he did.
I'll forward this one over to you that the Chicago just sent me, all right?
Yes, sir.
You can call him and ask him, what's the important part about this? I haven't seen it, all right? I just sent it to you just now. You have it out? Go ahead.
Kanadawakan, sir. 1 King chapter 22, verse 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Verse 22.
No, wait, read above it.
Come on. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? So now,
Levi, okay, what is this setting? If you need to read above it, you can. If you need more, that helps. Like, what do you visualize when you read this?
If I may, sir, it's similar to Commanding General Yohana looking. I'll just give this analogy, sir.
Yeah.
Similar to Commanding General Yohana looking at the ISUPK and deciding who he's going to send to destroy the conscious community. If I may give an analogy.
Okay, it's a little more realistic than I think what you are thinking. It's not just like Commanding General Yohana deciding who he's going to destroy. It's Commanding General Yohana knowing he wants someone destroyed, but he doesn't know the best way to do it. Do you understand? And so he needs ideas from the people who serve him. And that's what the Most High is doing right here. He knows what he wants done, and then he's asking, well, who can do this? Who can make this happen? I know I want him dead, but with all of you top-ranking angels around here, what can you do to make what I want happen? And he gets counsel from them, ideas from them. And you got to think very realistically. You got to think very what? Who wants to answer it for me?
I got it, sir.
Go ahead.
Practical.
Without having a practical mind, Doc, you cannot read the Bible. Because before you know it, you'll be some lunatic who's shooting people thinking that it's God's will to shoot somebody, or it's God's will to blow up an airplane, or it's God's will to, to drink blood, or it's God's will to, to worship, some statue. You got to be practical about it. Read one verse above it, and what you just read, and read it again quickly.
Verse 18. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he will prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? Verse 19. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left.
This is, what would you call this, Levi?
This is major council, sir.
This is major council. Give him a hand. This is major council. And this prophet of God is telling them what is happening in the fourth dimension, where the Most High sits on a throne made of fire and lightning coming out of the throne and voices proceeding out of the throne. He's sitting there. He knows what he wants, but he doesn't know the best way to do it. That's your job, to tell him how can your goal be achieved in the best way. Keep going.
Verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And
he knows he wants him dead. The Lord knows he wants this guy to die in war, to die in this battle. But he doesn't know who's going to do it. He's looking for volunteers. He's looking for whoever has the best idea. Keep going.
And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner.
So do you understand, Levi? Another one says, well, how about this? Maybe I can give him the COVID-19 virus. That's how the Most High killed some of his enemies. He killed them with the COVID-19 virus. I know you know about that in headquarters in Harlem. Some people he gives them the COVID-19 and they're dead because that was his choice. Other ones he kills them this way and kills them that way. Other ones he does this, and he wants to know what angel has the best plan. One says one thing, another says another thing. Keep going.
Verse 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said.
And all of a sudden, some brother steps up right in front of the Most High and says this. Go ahead.
And said, I will persuade him.
I will do what?
Persuade him.
I will persuade him. What does persuade mean? To seduce, to talk him into it. That's what he said. Continue.
Verse 22. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And
the Lord said what?
Wherewith?
What does that mean, Levi?
Basically, how you going to do it?
Now, he is God, isn't he?
Come on.
So do you see how that breaks your impractical idea of heaven? Do you understand what I mean or not?
Come.
He's asking. He's not saying, oh, I know how you're going to do it. I'm God. He didn't do that. Right. He said, how? It's practical. Do you understand? It's a real counsel. You're going to persuade him. How? How are you going to do that? Just like any commanding officer would do it. Just like any camp leader. Just like any brother in charge of a zone would go, hold up, I know what Commanding General Yohana wants, but how are you going to do that? The Most High God said that to a spirit in his counsel. Do you understand?
Come.
Go ahead.
And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets.
He said, you know what? I'm going to leave from your sight. I'm going to go down there, and I am going to become a lying spirit in the mouth of his counselors, meaning I'm going to convince his counselors to lie to him and to tell him that he's going to win a battle that I know he's not going to win. He'll listen to his counselors because they're his counselors, and his counselors will be lying because I told them to lie. And that's how he'll get killed, as you wish, Adawan. Do you understand? Keep reading.
And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also.
He said, who is the he said? Who is the he?
So like thou shalt persuade him and he said, oh, so like the Most High, sir.
The Most High. Now, what words should you be emphasizing right now? Shout. When you read it again, but emphasize shout so you can understand it.
And he said, thou shalt persuade him.
Now, what does that mean?
That means that idea is a good idea because it's going to work.
There you go. That's exactly what it means. You see, God didn't use his magic to just know it was going to work. You understand? He didn't use his magic. He's having a counsel. He's listening to ideas, hearing everybody out, giving everybody an opportunity to speak. Listening. And this cat says something. He goes, you shall convince him, and you're going to win. The Lord goes, that is a good idea, and that is going to work. Do you understand? Now, why is this so important? It's giving you a window into how things are done in the kingdom of heaven. And it's not full of magic wands and God using his omnipotent knowledge to just wave a stick and everything, he wants happens. It's a council. It's a military council with ideas, which is why you brothers should always listen to the brothers below you. Listen to them. If you're a captain in this school, these 5,000s have good ideas. And the only way that the objective that you have will be achieved is if you're listening to the brothers below you. You 5,000s that are camp leaders. You got brothers under you are an officer of 1,000, brother, an officer of 50. You better hear them out because some of them are giving you excellent ideas to achieve your goals. Do you understand? some of you brothers, you got a woman in your house. Some of your wives have excellent ideas. Precept. You don't know this one.
If I may, sir, the one that I was thinking, the one that I was thinking of was the one that Christian love to pull, or not Christian, but people who don't believe in the Bible. Slave, obey your master. We translate into servant, obey your.
That's not the precept. That's not even on the topic that I'm talking about. I just said, what's a precept where some wives have excellent ideas, and you should listen to them? Hazahad.
Look, I was gonna say the one where Sarah said to cast out that bond child Ishmael.
And Abraham did not listen to her. Correct?
For a time,
For a time, and then what happened?
And then Ishmael was mocking Isaac. And then I think he gave them a bottle of water and sent them off.
Why did he finally listen to his wife?
Because her advice was right.
Because the Most High God said, hearken unto the voice of thy wife. For in Isaac shall thy seed be called. You understand? Now, it doesn't mean every last one of them. Some of them are dumb as this goddamn bottle of scotch. So, and just like some brothers. Some brothers are dumb as a bottle of scotch. They don't know any goddamn thing. But you want to listen so that you can be the one who decides whether or not the idea is good or not. But if you don't listen to them, how in the hell are you going to know? Listen, you get the point, Levi, or not?
Come on, sir. The water out of
the way. Next.
Sir, I'm still waiting for the text message that you're supposed to send me, sir.
First of all, not to disparage the scotch because it's excellent. Give Mayan a hand again for serving up that scotch. Well done. Asher, I sent you the hold on. Hold on, I didn't send it out, Salaki. Next question online.
Sir, the first question I have online is for from Double One. He would like a breakdown on. He would like an understanding on Revelation 9.
Asher, is it the number that starts with
845?
8. Okay. Go ahead. What's the question now?
He would like a breakdown on the Revelation chapter 9, an understanding of it.
Go ahead.
Hold up.
Let me know when we're ready to get into the topic. You got my videos, right?
I got a bunch of videos for you, sir.
You need them. All right. Go ahead, Al.
He didn't give a specific verse. He just put the chapter.
He didn't give a specific. Well, I can't break down. I don't have time to break down the whole damn chapter out. He got a Thawabon, give me something in specific, or a specific point. A specific point, all right? Go ahead, Asher. Next question.
Yes, sir.
Let me get the sister in headquarters.
She has a mic.
Go ahead, sis.
Does angels have genders?
Do angels, meaning are there women angels?
Yes.
There is no scripture, I believe, that talks about women angels. Is this something on the tip of my tongue? No. Asher, that's not in the Bible, right?
Say it one more time, sir.
There's no scripture. Is there a scripture about women angels? It's something I'm thinking about. A Shema Wala, am I right? There's none, right?
You might be thinking about a prophetess.
Yeah, I might be thinking about that. No. When it comes to angels, angels aren't born from sex.
No.
Yeah, angels, I'm just breaking it down to the sister now. Sister, angels are not born from sex. They don't have families. So they're all men. You get my point?
Yes.
Because they're not human beings. All right?
Okay.
Go ahead, sis. Anything else?
I'm sorry, Badger got a question, sir.
Go ahead, Art.
You have the mic? General, the video that Captain Marquardt sent you is also the video I have.
No problem. We'll go over it in 1 second. All right, go ahead, Abadja.
If I may, sir, my question is mainly about John 3:22 and John 4:2. Basically, that and specifically what John said when they asked him about it. This is John the Baptist. I just wanted an understanding of both. This is John 3:22. After these things, Salaki, hold up. Salakia 26. And they came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi, he that was with thee beyond Jordan, to whom thou bearest witness, behold, the same baptizeth, and all men come to him. Now, this is John 4:2 for context. Though Yahushua himself baptized not but his disciples. My first question is, why did he allow his disciples to baptize? And I know it's a long John's whole explanation, so I don't know if you have time to like just summarize what John's whole answer, because I couldn't really understand it.
All right, okay. I'm sorry. Say that last part one more time.
Meaning John's disciples went asking, why is Christ out there baptizing? But in context, the 4th chapter lets you know it wasn't Christ, it was Christ's disciples that were doing the baptizing.
You got it. I'm sorry. You better read it one more time. I think I'm missing the thread.
Okay.
Bring it out one more time.
This is John 3:26. And they came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi, he that was with thee beyond Jordan, to whom thou bearest witness, behold, the same baptizeth, and all men come to him. And then this is John, and then in John 4, it basically explains it wasn't Yahushua doing the baptizing, it was his disciples.
Okay, so you're saying, why are they saying that he was baptizing?
Well, really, why was he allowing his disciples to baptize?
No, you got to, okay, I'm missing. Read that part, please, about him allowing his disciples to baptize.
This is John 4:1. I'll start at 1. When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees had heard that Yahushua made and baptized more disciples than John, verse 2, though Yahushua himself baptized not, but his disciples.
Okay, this baptism is not talking about the water baptism at all. Okay, water baptism was the common way that, how can I describe it? Much like today, meaning because John's movement was so big,
right?
And at one time he had baptized the entire population of Jerusalem, every last person in the city. Water baptism, was the most popular way that people decided to rededicate themselves to keeping the law. You understand?
Concept.
But now Christ did not water baptize, and the baptism that you're talking about here is not water baptism. It's the spiritual baptism. What they mean is Christ is out rededicating people to the law more than John. The baptism began to be synonymous with rededicating a sinner back to the law. And it began, which is why when you read in the New Testament, when it's speaking about baptizing, it's talking about fire baptizing, because colloquially it began to just be known as baptizing. Right. Whenever you took someone who didn't care about the law, which was the majority of Israelites at that time, who were blacks and Hispanics, the vast majority of them could care less about the law. In Jerusalem, in the land of Israel, they could care less about the law. They ate pork. They ate shrimp. They worshiped strange gods in Jerusalem. And the Sadducee and Pharisee would punish whoever didn't have enough money to avoid punishment. Right. They would stone that person and kill that person. But if you had money, you never had to keep any of the commandments at all. So many people from time to time would decide to rededicate themselves to the commandments of God. Of course, most popularly with water baptism, but rededication itself began to be known as baptism, which is why Christ said, he shall baptize with fire. That's why John said that. Do you understand that?
Concept.
Because it was still considered a baptism, because it was what?
A consecration. Meaning
it was someone rededicating themselves to God's law.
Right.
So it was still considered a baptism, even though it was done with fire and not with water. So the baptism you're reading about is that kind of baptism. That's the people, Christ, that's the people that were baptized more than John, is the people who went out to hear Christ speak precept.
You are Salakia, those who
more than
the least in the kingdom of heaven are greater than John?
No, more people went out and were baptized by Christ. More. Matthew 5:1. Go ahead. Nice and quick.
There's Matthew 5, verse 1. And seeing the multitude, he wept into a mountain.
Seeing the what?
Seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain.
So Christ came out, and there was so many people that he had to get up in a mountain so they could see him. A mountain. Keep going.
And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit.
Read how many people were there. So much that they trode upon another.
Salakia, 1 second. Maybe that's in verse 4.
Go ahead. Chapter 4. Go ahead. Look up that.
Uh, 4 and 24. And his fame went throughout all Syria, and they brought unto him.
This is what you need right here. Go ahead.
Unto him all sick people that were taken with diverse diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, and those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy, and he healed them. And there followed him.
So you understand now? So Christ wasn't out dipping water on people, but he was healing people of terrible illnesses terrible illnesses, healing them. People with cerebral palsy, people with what else? Go ahead.
Salakia, diverse diseases and torments, and those which were possessed by devils, and those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy.
My God, can you imagine how many people came out when they heard about this? How many people came out? Keep going.
Cancer 25. And there followed him great multitudes of people from Galilee, and from Decapolis, and from Jerusalem, and from Judea, and from beyond Jordan.
So you understand, so John the Baptist, he baptized with water the whole population of Jerusalem. My God, can you imagine what Christ was threatening this day? How many people, the Bible says that there were so many of them, they were stepping on each other. That's how many of them were there. This day made him a great threat. When they saw this happen, he became a threat that was just too dangerous to the powers that be, to the powers that be at that time. They were in charge, they were rich, and they began to see that what he was saying was being heard and believed by too many people. And let me tell you something, you're going to see that same thing happen in the Israelite school of UPK. It's beginning to happen right now. And I know all of you see it. All of you see what Commanding General Yohana has been saying since he was 18 years old. Oh, now everyone is about to say it. Everyone is about to say that the black man is the biblical ethnic Jew that the Bible speaks of. The so-called Negroes in North America, you're the real Jews. And the Hispanics and the so-called indigenous people, the so-called North American Indian, you're the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Before you know it, brother, so many people are going to say it, that it's going to become so much of a threat to the powers that be that they're going to want to do something about it. And then it's my turn then. Then I get my turn in that day. Keep going.
Cancer. Matthew 5:1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened, verse 2, and he opened his mouth.
I think you get it out. That's when Christ began to just say, blessed are the poor. Blessed are the meek. Christ began to say something that was revolutionary.
Right.
He began to say that the poor people were the people that actually mattered. The sick people were the people that actually mattered. The people lost and forgotten from the government at that time were the people who God truly loved. And that is absolutely revolutionary. You understand, Abadji? No.
Khan, sir, if I may, sir.
Go ahead.
I just had one question about very quick about what John 3:30, which is basically the sum of what John said. Basically, John 3:30. He must increase, but I must decrease. Then why didn't he do that?
He tried. He tried. How did he try? Who was he talking to?
His own disciples.
Yeah, he's telling them, I must decrease. He must increase. I am not worthy to loosen the shoes from his feet. I baptize with water, but he shall baptize with fire. He tried telling them. And then what happened? Do you know the story?
Khan, he ended up in jail.
He went to jail, and while he was in jail, what did he hear about?
More miracles.
No, while he was in jail, he heard about a teaching that Christ did, a speaking where Christ said, this is my blood, drink it, for it is shed for you. This is my flesh, eat it, for it is shed for the covenant of the New Testament. And he thought, like everyone thought, is that Christ was telling you to eat his body and drink his blood. And he said, who shall believe this thing? This is a hard saying. Who can believe this? John the Baptist was in the truth. Then he left the truth because he did not understand a speaking, a doctrine that Christ taught. Which means, what about John the Baptist? Abadji?
He was never in the truth.
Thank you. Thawada, give him a hand. Do I need to pull this precept, Abadji, or not?
No, you don't need to. I just wanted to get an understanding of that and understanding of what they meant exactly by baptism and why he allowed the. So the disciples weren't actually dipping people in water. So
I'm sorry. The disciples after Christ left were dipping some people in water. All the multitude they're talking about is speaking. That's what the disciples were doing. That is the baptism of fire. It was still considered baptism, but it is not a water baptism. The disciples did after Christ left, when they began to restart their ministry or their work. They went out and baptized people with water because that was the popular way to do it. Then they remembered when he saith, John baptized with water, but you shall baptize with the Holy Spirit. Then they never did it again.
Sir.
Anything else?
That's it right now, sir.
Next. Let me get one online, Hazahab.
I have something
from online.
I have something from General Katham, sir.
Go ahead.
General Katham said that you gave a full breakdown of the two angels that fake Israelite groups like to say are women in Zechariah chapter 5, starting at verse 6 to 9.
Okay, I can't even remember that one too high, but that's not talking about angels at all. If that's the point, I do remember that much of it. See me one more time, my young one. Go ahead. Oh, that's what I was remembering. Okay, from earlier. I got you, Katham Thawada. That's correct. No, there are no women angels. Go ahead, brother. About midway from it. Just, give me two fingers like this right here with your finger right there. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Me, sir?
Whoever had a question.
Go, sir. I have a question in Exodus 13 and 15. I wanted to know if this law was related to if it was related to when Abraham was gonna sacrifice Isaac. So
go ahead.
It says, and it came to pass when Pharaoh would hardly let us go. No, that's not it.
Give me time. Shout out to Chi-Town, Chicago. Give them a hand. They're up in here tonight. I appreciate you, warriors. I'll get your questions too. Anyone that has a question that's on the screen, just raise your hand and I'll see it. All right. If you have another question and you're not on the screen, just type it in and we'll answer your question. All right. Go ahead.
So Exodus 13 and 15. And it came to pass when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Most High slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. That's not it. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males.
Okay.
But all the firstborn of my children I redeem.
Go ahead.
Verse 12, it says...
What's your question up?
There was a law. There was a law where the law said all the firstborn out of the matrix are his.
Yes.
And I was trying to see if Abraham sacrificing Isaac was related to that law.
If it was related to it, meaning if that's why he did it.
Concept.
Okay, Abraham did it because he was told to do it. And that's what's important about Abraham, which is why by understanding Abraham, you can understand the law, right? Abraham didn't do it because he was his firstborn child, which would be the law, your firstborn child. Abraham did it because he was told. Abraham did it before the law. Do you understand that?
Cool.
What do I mean when I say before the law?
Before Moses handing out the law, before
the law became the law of the land.
Right.
When you had to do it or you were punished. Abraham communicated with the Most High, brother, like Adam, his forefather did. His great-great-great-grandfather Adam did it. The Most High communicated with him, told him what to do, and he did it. And it was before we had a law that you had to do or you were killed by a priest if you didn't do it. That's doing the law because of fear of punishment, which many people can obey something and not believe in it. I don't rob banks, but I sure would like to. I can guarantee that. It's not because I believe in the banking system or I respect, the banking system. I don't rob banks because I know that Commanding General Yohana would not like it if I robbed the bank, because I'd be away and have to go away for years again, and I don't want to do that. Everybody understands.
Go.
So now, but it's not because I believe in the banking system. I don't do it because of the punishment. Do you understand that?
Go, sir.
And Abraham, that's not why he did what he did. He did what he did for obedience, for friendship with the Most High. And so that's why he's our example of how we should obey the law when there is no punishment. Because right now, there is no punishment to eating pork. There is no punishment to eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. There is no punishment to being a child molester. There's no punishment. You can molest your children, and the family and the Catholics and the preachers will hide you. There is no punishment. So why should you not do it? Because of your obedience to God. Because it's wrong according to him. That's the lesson of Abraham going to kill his son up. You understand?
Go, sir.
And of course, at the end, the Most High stopped him, stayed his hand, and gave him an animal, a sheep to kill. You understand?
Go, sir.
In the end, it was a test, and that's that. Next.
Khan, sir, I have a question from Officer Hadaryal out in Detroit, sir.
Go ahead, warrior.
He wants to know, sir, in Matthew chapter 27 and 5 and Acts chapter 1 and 18, is this the same person, Judas?
In Matthew, let me hear the Matthew one.
Yes, sir. Matthew chapter 27, verse 5. I'm going to start at verse 3, sir. It says, Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver.
I got that one. Now give me the other one.
Yes, sir. Acts chapter 1, verse 18. It says, Now this man purchased a field with a reward of iniquity.
This is the same one.
Counselor.
All right, next.
Counselor, the double one gave me the verse that he was looking, that you asked for. So it's Revelation chapter 9, verse 14. I'm gonna get to it right now, sir. Revelation chapter 9, verse 14. It says, I'm gonna start in verse 13, sir. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God. Verse 14, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, Loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
Keep going.
Verse 15. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day, and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men.
I can't always recall this. I'm only about 80% sure on this one. I might have to read this on my own to jog my memory, Thabawan. All right, you better give me till next week. I believe I do remember. If not, I'll call Commanding General Yohana, but I might need to just read it for myself for a couple of seconds. All right. Revelation. This is at 9, right?
Yes, sir.
Go 2 verses above it real fast.
Yes, sir. Revelation chapter 9, verse 11. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit.
I got that.
The Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue, hath his name Apollyon.
Okay, go down one more verse.
One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter.
I got that. Keep going.
Verse 13. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God.
Go 1 verse past where we already read.
Yes, verse 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them.
Oh boy, that jogged my memory a little bit right there. Give me a second, Doc, all right? Let me read it. Let me think about it for a second. It's almost there. I just have to remember the breakdown that I received, all right?
Sir, while you're doing that, can I play the video for the Las Vegas cookout?
Please. Oh, damn it. Hold up. Before you do that, Asher, tonight I have to make a very important announcement about the Most High's Passover. Give the Passover a hand from the Most High. I'll make an announcement tonight by orders of Commanding General Yohana about the Passover tonight. Someone remind me, all right? And I'll make the announcement tonight. Tonight you will find out where the Passover will be. What Passover is that? Is the next one, Asher?
This is the 53rd Passover?
I don't think so.
Or 54?
54 sounds better, right?
No. We missed one because the Lord sent the plague.
I don't think we skipped over that one.
We did not miss one. I believe it's either 53rd or 54, but I will confirm. So give me a minute.
Somebody will confirm. All right, we'll check it out. All right, let me get the next question.
Sir, can I play the video while you read the verse?
Please. No, wait. Play the video and then I'll. Okay, go ahead. Let me check it out. Yes, go ahead.
All right, ISUPK, going with you. 1 West, Harlem, New York, 125th Street. That's what we do.
What's the 1 West? If I could train a dragon, I could definitely tame a lion. Any climate, and I'm shining like a diamond out of Zion.
Mr. What's going on with you, man? Precinct Captain Dawhar, Officer 1, man. Listen, inviting you to our West Coast barbecue. You know, every year we having a barbecue on the West Coast, man. Can't wait to see y'all from all over the country pulling up in Las Vegas. It's gonna be a blast again. If anyone been to Las Vegas, you know it's a good time. You get what I'm saying? We're gonna have a good time again. You know what I mean? Big things go on, parties, barbecues. I know y'all like to gamble. We're gonna gamble a little bit too, man, and drink good liquor. You know what I mean? Most importantly, Community Yohana is going to be in the building, so you got to show up. If you're on the West Coast, man, in any surrounding areas, and when I say surrounding areas, I mean everywhere across America, pull up, man. You know what I mean? The head of the nation, Israel, going to be there, man, with his solid generals, man. General MAHAYAMAN, General Mayat, you know what I'm saying? General Hazayan, General Katham Gabar, General Anya Shawamar, General Q, General Kabbalah, you know, General Q going to be in the building. So, you know, we cannot wait to see y'all, man. You know what I mean? So pull up December 1st through the 4th. It's going to be a blast of the weekend. We have a good time, man. I'm going to be there. One going to be there. The Wall, he's off camera. Get in the camera at the Wall. He going to be there as well. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a blast, man. Las Vegas. Tune in. Hey, shout out to Officer Shabal. He's running the whole thing. Shout out to the Las Vegas team. They're going to do everything that's in accordance to having a good time for you. Pull up Las Vegas, December 1st to the 4th. We're going to be there, man. Shalom.
could thank the general, I had the bar. Niggas running out of time like I had a mar. Red cup, black label, I'm a connoisseur. I'ma leave it wet if I draw the sword. Nigga.
Give him a hand, Most High in Christ. Give Captain Gadar out there in the West Coast a hand. The West Coast cookout out there in Las Vegas. Ooh, we, Commanding General Yohana. It's time for me to come take some money from the Moabites out there in Las Vegas. I'm tired of them taking my goddamn money. I'm about sick of that, Asher. I'm about fed up with that.
I'm trying to take some money with you, sir.
I hear you, brother. Go ahead, Levi.
If I may, sir, I believe we got a Levi brother, Nakamaya, in the school who is a pro. Maybe we
heard about Nakamaya. Give him Nakamaya, hand. Nakamaya from the tribe of Levi, the chosen people of God, the Haitians. He went out there to Las Vegas, and taught the house a lesson out there, Rock. He had to teach the house a lesson out there in Las Vegas. Ooh-wee. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a time out there in Las Vegas. We had a good time in Houston. I pray you understand that. Right. And we're going to have a good time in Las Vegas, the West Coast, where we come together and we get to be with each other. Man, which is the best thing on the planet Earth, huh? There's just nothing better than being with each other. And we all get to sit around and look at each other. And as we see Kyrie Irving and Kanye West and the whole world talking about us and what we teach and realizing it's true, we get the pleasure of knowing that we were right while everyone else was wrong. We were right when the Christians were wrong. We were right when the synagogues were wrong. We were right when the Muslim mosque was wrong. We were right. Black people are the real Jews, and it's in the Bible. Hispanics are the chosen people of God, and it's in the Bible. And we're going to go celebrate it like every chance we get. Shalom. Anything else?
Yes, sir. It has been confirmed that it will be the 54th annual Passover.
That's what my aunt said. 54th annual Passover. Get it Most High, hand. Ooh, can you imagine now? 54 years fighting. Abba Bibbins got killed in Newark, New Jersey. Everybody hated us. Brothers lost their children over saying something that now Kyrie Irving says on TV, on ESPN.
So there's an update with Kyrie Irving that I'm going to say when you're ready.
Oh, Lord. All right. No problem. Hang on to it. We'll answer some questions and we'll get to it at our usual time to do the topic. All right?
Come on, sir.
All right. Questions. Let's get it. Once again, before I forget again, tonight I will make the announcement by orders of Commanding General Yohana. I will tell you where the Passover will be, the 54th annual Passover. You already know about the barbecue that's coming up in about 3 weeks, the West Coast barbecue. That's coming up. You better be there.
December 1st to the 4th.
December 1st to December 4th will be the West Coast barbecue. Tonight, you're going to find out where the 54th annual barbecue will be. Questions?
So, like you, sir, were you able to refresh your memory on Revelation?
I drank through the whole thing. I didn't even look at it, but listen, I will look at it in 1 second. So, lock you. What's the next question?
The next question I have for you, sir, is from another brother. He would like a breakdown on Deuteronomy 18, verses 10 through 12. Specifically verse 10, where it says, "Pass through the fire."
Go ahead and read it quickly.
You got it? La, you got it.
Deuteronomy 18 and 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times.
Let me explain it to you. There are many cultures that do this today. Give me the East Indians walking on hot coals. Put that up for the brother. Okay, this is speaking about the worship of a god called Molech, right? And the star of Molech, which was Chiam. Chiam was a man who was considered to be the most devout servant of Molech, and he was called the star of Molech, just like Will Smith is a movie star. He was considered to be the star of Molech, meaning the most devout, famous worshiper of Molech. Much like what's that cat's name? The Arab, You got Allah, who's the God of the Arabs, and then you have Muhammad. Muhammad is the most famous and devout follower of Allah. Well, Chiam was the most famous and devout follower of Molech. Now, Molech had a process of challenging people's faith. And a lot of these things, a lot of these different tests, the Chinese will make you lay down on a bed of nails. Back in Salem, Massachusetts, back in the day, if you were considered to be a witch, they would test you by drowning you. And if you did not drown, you were a witch, right? If you didn't die, you were a witch. And different times, different heathens will have different tests to prove your faith or your obedience to their God. Well, Molech would make parents pass their children through fire. Some children would survive, some children would die. When the children would die, what would they say? Who's ever been to church before, you'll know what they said. When their children would pass through fire, some kids would die. What would the priest of Molech say about that child? Who knows?
God didn't want the child to live?
Say again?
God didn't want the child to live.
No, that's not what they say. That's not what the Christians say when they slap you on the forehead and try to heal you of your cancer, and it doesn't work, and you die later of cancer. What does the preacher say? Chicago?
Salaki, sir, they'll say that the Lord wasn't with them.
They'll say you didn't have any faith.
You didn't have enough faith.
If you would have believed, this is what Christians teach today, right now, tonight. They teach that if you have cancer or if you have some disease where you're going to die, God will just take it away if you get someone to lay hands on you. Now, if it doesn't work, when people pray for you, if you die, they blame the person who died. They blame them. They say, well, he died because he didn't really believe. Because Pastor prayed over him. Pastor prayed over him, and he still died, which is the evidence that he did not believe. That is being taught today. If any of you former Christians out there want to tell your story, step up and say it. Because I get the stories. And these people believe that really you are not going to die if the preacher touches you. And if you die, they go, well, Mr. Johnson died. I guess he wasn't a real Christian. I guess he didn't believe. Well, it was the same way a long time ago with a god called Molech. And if you really believed in him, you would make your child walk through fire. Show me a heathen doing it today. Asher, come on. Play the video. Look at him. God damn it. He pushed his ass right through the fire. Did you see that? No, yeah, you should have saw that. It was ridiculous. Listen, he pushed him right through the. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. He went and pushed him right through. Play it again. Listen, God damn. That's hot and cold, huh?
They had beef, sir.
Go. What'd you say?
They had beef.
Yeah, that's what it is, and they did that thousands of years ago. And they would make their children pass through that fire. Some of them would run through it real fast. Some of them would die. And when the kids died, they said, well, he didn't have faith. What is that similar to? You send your children out to a stranger's house to eat his candy. And let me tell you something. Whoever sent their children out for Halloween this year, I have irrefutable proof that you're a terrible parent. You're terrible. I should have known that already by how your kids behave. Your kids behave like alley rats any goddamn way. But today, there were news stories. Let me get the sister in headquarters. Let me get one of the sisters over there in headquarters. Sisters, did you hear any stories about fentanyl this year in Halloween candy? Sister right there.
Yes, I heard they sprayed on the candy.
Now, give her a hand. Let me get the other sister in Baltimore. Sister in Baltimore, did you hear any news stories about fentanyl and Halloween candy? Give the sister sister, did you hear that?
Yeah.
So what'd you hear, sister?
I just seen that it was in the news on CNN.
That's right.
They're taking the candy out and putting the fentanyl in it.
That's right. Now, if these two sisters heard this, can you imagine how many people heard this same story?
Sure.
Everybody heard this story. Everybody heard that the police found bags of candy with fentanyl in candy. And fentanyl is as deadly, more deadly than rat poison ever was. When I was young and a kid, they used to say, there's rat poison in the candy. There's a razor blades in the candy. My mother said, go out there and get some of that candy. Go out there and grab some of it. Get all you can. But today, there's fentanyl in candy who's killed everybody, fentanyl. And you still sent your children out to a stranger's house to eat candy. You're a terrible parent.
Right.
Terrible. And you wonder why the white man is taking your kids from you and giving your children to homosexual white men to raise your kids. It's because you're a terrible parent. You're terrible. You are the kind of person that would pass your child through fire to serve some strange God. You put your child in danger to prove that some God is all powerful. That's what it's talking about, Ak, all right? Next.
Khan, sir, another question I have. Hold on one second. Is from a sister. She wants to know how would a father correctly toughen up a son if the son is a little timid?
I got you. Okay, well that's a question that you'll probably need some personal counsel with. Because there's not one way to do it. I'll give you an in general answer, but in specific, you should go to your camp leader in your city, and he can specifically tell you what to do with your child, all right? But let me give you just an overall, in general answer. The best way to raise a tough and strong boy is to have a tough and strong man in his life. Is to live it by example. You understand? A boy needs someone to look at and to pattern himself after. And if you can't provide that, then he'll look to the gangs or the athletes or, someone on TV to be someone he just looks at. And because he watches this person, he will mimic that person. So the best way to have a masculine son is to have a masculine man as his role model. You understand? That's an in general answer. That's what you need of. And so many times that's what you don't have. You don't have a masculine man that the boy can just learn from just by looking at him, which is how kids learn from a drug dealer. That's how they learn from, athletes. You want to embody the superiority of masculinity and how masculinity is glorious. You understand? Drug dealers are glorious. You see a drug dealer, he's getting all of the women. He has all of the money. He's a man that people fear. And then now you expect your son to follow some half a faggot, excuse my language, half of a LGBTQ member, sitting around the house. And meanwhile, you get high all day. You're a drug addict. Your son will never want to be like you if he pities you, if he feels sorry for you. And so many of you, you're a man and your son feels sorry for you. Your son pities you. He looks at you all day. You're drunk all day. You're getting high. What do you think your son is looking at you thinking, I'm going to be just like him when I grow up? Your son is thinking, my daddy is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed by him. He's a drunk. He's a drug addict. My father is drunk with pants full of piss all day. My father smokes weed all day and sits in a chair. And then he goes outside and he sees drug dealers who are glorious. Well, in the Israelite school of UPK, we teach righteous men how to be glorious, how to shine more than drug dealers shine. Come on now. You see us? What drug dealer can compare to us? It was some sister brother that came to me when I was in Houston. I don't know who the hell she was. I couldn't even tell her. If she saw me today, I wouldn't know who the hell she was. But she came to me and she said, it was some problem she had with some Mexican brother in the world. I think it was her cousin or her father-in-law. I don't even know who the hell it was. But she said, well, I can't tell him that. I don't want him to know I'm in the truth because he's powerful and he has money and people do what he tells them to do. And I said, sister, Commanding General Yohana is powerful and he has money and armies of men obey him. Do you think he cares about what some brother can do? What can we do? He should care about us. And the sister realized that I was adamant in my stance on what I was saying, right? And of course, we're far more glorious than any drug dealer because righteous men can be glorious. Righteous and moral men can be masculine. They don't see that in the church. You go to church and now you have to be half a homo to be able to be righteous. And who in the hell wants to be half a homo? Nobody does. If you want your son to be a righteous man, you're going to have a man in the UPK that he can look at and mimic the behavior of. That's step one. Anything else?
No, sir.
Next question.
Next question I have here is from a brother who would like a breakdown on Acts chapter 13, verse 1.
Come on. Go ahead, up.
Acts chapter 13, verse 1.
Also, for the end of class, man, someone that speaks Spanish out there, help me with my E's on this thing, all right? You call me afterwards to embarrass me about how bad I say it. Now, help me right now in the middle of class. Damn. Asher, go ahead.
You sandwiches?
Yes, sir. Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that were called Niger.
Let me tell you something now. Today on TV, there was was it on TV? No, it was on the internet, on some famous blog or something like that. And this guy was just taking questions from Christians in the world who were trying to tell him that what the Israelite school of UPK is saying is right. The brothers on the street in Harlem, the brothers on the street in Times Square, the brothers out there on the street have been saying that the Hebrew Israelites are black. The Jews are black. And the radio host, blog host who was a Christian, kept telling them that color is not in the Bible. And God doesn't talk about color. And there are no scriptures. He said, God does just not care about color. And that struck my brain back to when we had to battle that back in the 90s every day. God, the color is not in the Bible. I haven't heard it in years. But they're back to saying that again because now what Commanding General Yohana is teaching is now in the mainstream media. And so because of that, they're back to saying color is not in the Bible. And that is a goddamn lie, the water warrior. That's a lie. Color is in the Bible. Color is all over the Bible. Why? Because the Most High God knew that the chosen people of God would be under attack thousands of years later. The world would try to tell you that you are less than what God made you. God made you to be the chosen people of God. But every heathen, all of your enemies want to take credit for God's love without going through the curses that God put on his children. God cursed his children for their disobedience. But now everybody wants to be a Jew, but nobody wants to be cursed. Nobody wants to pay the price of being the chosen people of God who have disobeyed him. We paid the price. We're sitting here in slavery and in hell and we're being shot. That poor brother, what's the brother's name? Takeoff? The brother Takeoff, right?
Sir.
Brother, poor brother. Imagine your dreams coming true How many brothers sit home every day in some ghetto, poor and suffering, thinking that if I could just get a record deal, my mother would get to have a house, and my family would get out of the ghetto, and my sister would get to go to college. Imagine your dreams coming true, and you still get shot. You still die in a dice game that you could have died in Atlanta, in Brooklyn, in Harlem, in Arkansas, or in Texas, or in Memphis. You could have just died there in a dice game in the back of a 7-Eleven.
On your front porch.
On your front porch. That is what it means to be a Jew.
Right.
That's what it means to be an Israelite. To be cursed from God from doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. The white man has casinos. The white man is a criminal. The white man has organized crime. The white man sells drugs. The Chinese sell drugs. The Afghanistanis sell drugs. The Russians sell drugs. Jewish people sell drugs. Everyone else gets to commit crime, but none of them pay for it. We're the Jews of the Bible, which is why we pay for what we do, because God does not allow us to commit the crimes that other people are allowed to commit, because he has a higher standard for you, blacks, Hispanics, North American Indians. He has a higher standard for you. Read the precept again, Ak.
Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon.
Barnabas and Simeon. Those were teachers. Go ahead.
That were called Niger.
They were called what?
Niger.
They were called what?
Niger.
Man, that's one west up. That's one west 101. They were called Niger. Spell that word.
Niger.
Anyone want to guess why they call these brothers nigger? If you're from the South, you pronounce Niger nigger. Nigger is in the Bible. Nigger. They call these priests niggers because they were black people and they were trying to insult them. They called them nigger for the same reason that white people, the same white man who likes you and shakes your hand every day, he'll say, well, that's Jim. He's good. Like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith would never be called nigger, would he? No one would ever call Stephen A. Smith a nigger, ever. Give me someone else that will never hear the word nigger. Give me another name.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal will never be called nigger, ever. Never. Because Shaquille O'Neal, Stephen A. Smith, give me some more names.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley, my young. Val James.
Michael Jordan.
His first
Go ahead.
Junior game.
Herschel Walker.
My hand's bringing it out. Go ahead.
Junior game. He was in stadium, right? He was playing with some other, white words, whatever. He was not. I'm gonna slow down.
Break it down.
He was not the only brother on his team.
Let's skip down so they can see you. They can't see.
Can y'all see me?
You got him right there. Go ahead.
All right. So in the stadium, this was in Virginia. It was in Southern State. That's on it was in Southern State. So they call him Spook. They're showing Spook while he was playing in those games.
Give him a hand. God damn. That's his brother who's a black hockey player, and they yell "spook" to him while he's in the stands, which goes to the point. There are certain black people that are never called nigger, and other ones that are called nigger. Who would like to tell me the difference out there? Why will Charles Barkley, Stephen A. Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, they won't hear the name nigger. They won't experience racism. Where if you go do something like that brother did for the Buffalo Sabres, or if you're Kyrie Irving, or if you're someone that white people believe is stepping out of your position, they will call you nigger. Chicago?
Because they're good slaves and they obey master to the T to keep their money and their fame.
Give him a hand. Give Chicago a hand. That's all. let me explain to you why in Acts the 13th chapter, why these two brothers were called nigger. Because these two brothers who were in this school were considered rebellious. They were considered uppity. That was an old, who remembers that word, uppity? You remember that, right? If you're an uppity, they called you a nigger. Asher, goddamn it, can you give me Oprah Winfrey in Forsyth, Georgia, when she went to Forsyth, Georgia, and she began to ask white people about why they're so racist, because at that time, Forsyth, Georgia was considered the most racist county in America. And the man said, well, Oprah, see, you're not a nigger. You know, you're polite and you're good. But these old troublemakers, they're the niggers. Do you know that's in the Bible? They called men in the Bible nigger because they were Jews, they were black, and they were rebellious. And so because of that, they called them nigger. Go ahead, break it down. Go ahead.
Here. So,
break it down.
So he's drafted by the Detroit Red Wings in 1977, drafted by the.
Let's get down so they can see you.
All right, sorry.
Go ahead.
All right, drafted by the Detroit Red Wings in 1977. He also played for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that was really good. Yeah, but he was the first African American. There's
I got you.
Canadian, so, but he was by actual African.
He was African American, which meant he was a Jew. He was from the tribe of Judah.
Yes.
There you go. Give him a hand. Well said. The water. All right. Solid. Next.
Sir, it's 8:46, sir.
Oh, damn. Okay. Let me get the Forsyth, Georgia one, and then we'll go to the topic right now. All right. It's all over the damn internet. It's old as hell. I remember seeing it live. That's how old I am, Asher. I remember seeing the damn thing live. No, this ain't it with Tamarind Hall. This ain't it. Tamarind Hall was a damn child when this was on.
This was the one that says that it was in the Forsyth County, Georgia.
Let me see the video. Play the video.
Yes, sir.
In 1987, the Oprah show had only been on the air.
Fast forward.
North of Atlanta, which in the past few weeks has gained the reputation.
Fast forward.
There's no niggers here. Why should they even come?
Keep fast forward, Asher. I don't
It's
have
hard
time.
to believe that.
Where did the people who come from who were shouting, nigger, go home? They came from where?
Yes,
ma'am. Rewind a little bit.
My name's Frank
Rewind
Shirley.
a little bit.
Committee to keep
Break
Forsyth
it.
and Dawson County.
Inside too.
Somebody tell me, where did the people who come from who were shouting, nigger, go home? They came from where?
Yes, ma'am. They came from. My name's Frank Shirley. I'm the head of the committee to keep Forsyth and Dawson County white.
Let him speak. Please let him speak. He has the right to speak.
Okay, the news media is covered up. There were thousands of white people that came out to join our white people's protest. This is the largest white people's protest against communism and race mixing in the last 30 years. The news media has deliberately covered up the nature of the Brotherhood marchers, many of whom are outright communists and homosexuals, and our organization was the only one that dared take a stand against them. They brought in
So you're
thousands.
not just anti-black, you're also anti-gay too.
I'm opposed to communism, race mixing, and low morals, and homosexuals are of low morals, in my opinion.
You don't believe that people of other races have the right to live here?
They have the right to live wherever they want to, but we have the right to choose if we want a white community also. That's why we moved here.
You believe? That's what you believe. Excuse me. Why is it that there are people in this county, obviously, who are afraid of black people? What is it you are afraid black people are going to do? I mean, that's what I'd like to know.
I'm afraid of them coming to Forsyth County. I lived in Atlanta. I was born in Atlanta. And in 1963, the first blacks were bused to West Fulton High School. And I go down there now and I see my neighborhood and my community, which was a nice community, a nice neighborhood. And now it's nothing but a rat-infested slum area because they don't care. They don't care. Thank you.
No, wait, stand up. What's that? You know. Do you mean they, us, the entire black race? The entire black race?
Blacks and you have niggers.
What's the difference between a black person and a nigger to you?
Talk to black people.
Asher, are you there?
Yes, sir.
If you want to understand Acts 13 and 1, it's right here. Here it comes. It's about to happen right now. Everyone listen carefully. If you wonder, listen, Acts 13 and 1 is a whole Bible verse that is only saying that two men were called nigger. That's it. There's nothing else in the verse. The verse only says, read it one more time, Asher, please. Acts 13 and 1 in the New Testament. Read it again.
Now there were in the church that was in Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
Is that the end of the verse, Asher?
No, sir.
Keep going.
And Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul.
Asher, are you telling me that the only information that you're getting in this precept is the names of people who were in the school that Paul taught and they were called nigger? Is there any other information you're getting?
That they were prophets.
Say that one more time.
That there were prophets that were called Niger as well.
They were prophets of God, like Jeremiah and Ezekiel and Isaiah.
Concert.
And Moses.
Concert.
They were prophets of God, and they were called what?
Niger.
Spell it.
Niger.
Well, this is in the Bible. What is the point? How can I get into the kingdom of heaven with this precept? How does this help me? Read it one more time.
Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul.
Why is this important enough to make it a Bible verse? All it's telling me is that these people were called nigger. Why? What's the point of it? Here's the point, brothers and sisters. Here's the point. These people were called nigger for the same reason you're called nigger. See, Stephen A. Smith will not be called a nigger. Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, they won't be called nigger because they are not rebellious and black. They're black and obedient to the dominant culture. But Commanding General Yohana, my God, you should see the emails he tells me about. Commanding General Yohana's emails, if you got his emails, you go live in a bunker. If you got Commanding General Yohana's emails, you would go and live in a bunker. He's constantly threatened, constantly called a nigger, because he's the kind of nigger they hate. He's the kind of nigger that threatens popular society. If you don't believe me, listen to them. Play it. See me one more time, please.
White people, they don't want to come up here. They don't want to cause any trouble. That's a black person.
A taste.
A nigger wants to come up here and cause people. Black people.
Rewind a little more.
And you have niggers.
What's the
Rewind a
difference
little
between
more.
a black person and a nigger? Do you
Little
know?
more,
Black
Asher.
people. You have niggers.
Black race, the entire black race.
Blacks and you have niggers.
What's the difference between a black person and a nigger? Do you?
I've talked to black people. Black people, they don't want to come up here. They don't want to cause any trouble. That's a black person. A nigger wants to come up here and cause trouble all the time. That's the difference.
I have something to say. I'm very.
Kyrie Irving? Kyrie Irving is a nigger. He's a nigger, Kyrie Irving. Kanye West is a nigger. Commanding General Yohana is the commanding general of niggers.
That's right.
You understand me? He is the chief on the planet of all negrosity, negrodom, and negroliciousness. Yeah. And Asher, I know you might not know this. Your people come from what? South and Central America, right?
South America.
South America. I know South Americans say nigger as well, just like Mexicans and every other Hispanic tribe. But do you know what in the tribe of Judah, my tribe, what we learned? I learned this from my mother. What he just said. We all learned this growing up. We learned that if you lie and cheat and steal, and if you're lazy, you're a nigger. But if you're good, you're black or African American. Raise your hand if you've ever learned in your life that to be a nigger is ignorant. Raise your hand if you heard that before. You see that, Asher? You see that? Asher, that's what my tribe learned. Like, we don't learn that a nigger is black, which is what the word nigger means. Nigger means black, or niger or negro means black. We learned that a nigger is ignorant, stupid, lazy. That's niggers, because that's what white people taught us. They taught us that. And that's why in Acts the 13th chapter, these two heroic brothers and the brothers that were with them, they were called nigger because they did not obey master. Do you understand? And with that said, listen, all of the Mexicans that fight for the love of their brothers, you're niggers too. All of the Haitians, you're niggers too. All of the the Guatemalans, the Southeast and Southeast Salvadorians, all of the Asherites, you're niggers too. We're all niggers because we're Israelites who don't obey popular society, who wants to belittle us. You understand, Asher, right?
Right, sir.
Mawakwa sent me one more one. God damn, they suspended Kyrie Irving for 5 games. Mawakwa just sent me right. He's a nigger, Kyrie Irving. Now he's out of work. He's about to be out of work too. He's about to lose his job like every other nigger. Listen, man. Listen, we'll handle it all. Kyrie Irving, like every other brother, they don't know how to live this life yet. Commanding General Johanna knows how to live this life, which is why we have brotherhood, loyalty, which is why loyalty is everything. Because when your enemy is out to destroy you, all you have is one another. All you have is each other. Now, Kyrie Irving, he's about to be, that 5-game suspension is going to become, he's cut from that team. And he's going to become Colin Kaepernick. He's done. They're going to fire him and get rid of him, and that's that. And at the end of this, when you ask a black man who's a Jew, he's going to say, white people are the Jews. I love white people. Have, Nagila Have. He'll be singing a Yiddish song. Next. Come on, Asher. What you got now?
So I got the first video up with Kanye.
Go ahead and play it.
Sir.
He's been locked out of his Twitter account now. The platform suspending him after an anti-Semitic tweet. That tweet said, quote, "When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people." His tweet continued saying, quote, "Funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew."
Stop, Asher. That's the one that's famous, everybody has said now. Now, what I would love to understand is what is anti-Semitic about saying that black people are Jews? What is anti-Semitic about that? And if you are a black man in the music business, how is it wrong for you to be upset about the history of your people being robbed since the 1920s? Black people have been robbed of their royalties and of their hard-earned money from people who are Jewish and who are accepted every day into synagogue, no matter how much they rape and rob black people of their money. How is that anti-Semitic? If you're a woman and you get raped, are you wrong for giving the description of your rapist? Are you wrong? So if I'm a woman and I got raped, if I say, well, the man that raped me, he was 6 foot tall, am I against tall people? If I say he was 6'5", the guy that raped me, if I say the man that raped me was black, am I a racist because I gave the race of the man that raped me? Huh? How could that be anti-Semitic? If you're in the music business, you have been robbed since the time of the recording. Since someone could record sound, you've been robbed by Jewish people. You've been robbed since the vaudeville era. You've been robbed by Jewish people. You can't talk about it. You can't give the ethnicity of the people who are stealing your money. You can't say it. You're anti-Semitic. Play the next damn video.
Wait, sir, I'm not done.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
I recently learned the very first spoken film, the first spoken motion picture was The Jazz Singer, which is basically literally a movie about a Jewish rabbi's son pretending to be black in blackface so he can become a jazz singer.
Give Abad your hand. How could I have forgotten? At the time, it was the first major movie. The first. And just put a picture up on the screen of The Jazz Singer, Abad. Show everybody the first movie, the first recording, the first time it ever happened. Just put a picture up on the screen of The Jazz Singer. Get it ready while we're playing this video. I got to roll. Come on. The what? Go ahead.
Well, this comes just a few days after he made headlines for wearing a White Lives Matter shirt during his fashion show in Paris. He called the Black Lives Matter movement a scam, posting on his.
And let me break that part down for brothers in the truth. Kanye West, of course, in his ignorance, he said White Lives Matter because Kanye West, like I've tried to teach so many brothers, his problem is he has the internet. So many of you have the internet. And because you have the internet, you're scared of vaccines because of the Tuskegee experiment, when meanwhile, the Tuskegee experiment was people not taking vaccines. That's what happened in the Tuskegee experiment. Black men came to get penicillin, and white people did not give them penicillin, and they died. You don't understand things because you have the internet. Kanye West made some terrible, stupid mistakes because he doesn't follow commanding General Yohana. But he's better than Charles Barkley and better than Stephen A. Smith and better than a lot of people because he has cojones, huevos, because he has courage. Do you understand? He has huevos, cojones. He has some courage, and because of that, he said that the Jews are black. You got to forgive him for the whole White Lives Matter. What's the other George Floyd thing? His problem is he doesn't have a leader to follow to direct him yet. He doesn't have one yet. I think that's enough on this side. Do I need more? Give me the other videos. We got too many.
This is the last bit, Bob Kashan.
Go ahead.
Because the same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad.
Now stop right there. Is that not true? That is the truth. We learned blackness from white people. White people taught us how to be black. Who taught you how to be black? The NAACP. The NAACP is a group governed, controlled, and started by white people. White people control the NAACP. Preachers and reverends are controlled by a person that looks like their Jesus. A person that looks like their God. And the God of the black church is white. And they have white preachers, white reverends, white politicians that tell them God is white, Jesus is white, and tell your people to vote this year for who I tell you to vote for. We're taught how to be black from someone who is not black. Who in the hell can say that's not true? And how is that anti-Semitic? I see what Jewish people do. You play the anti-Semitic card. Oh, that's what you do. You play the anti-Semitic card whenever this comes up. Now, whoever complains about your treatment of them, they're anti-Semitic. Let me give you some history, idiots. Who else was called anti-Semitic in the past? Who wants to give me some names? Malcolm X. Malcolm X was called anti-Semitic. Now, what is he now? He's Malcolm X Boulevard. He's Malcolm X Boulevard now. Now they do movies about him with what's that nigga name? Denzel Washington. Now they name streets after him. But when he was out fighting for what he believed was the betterment of black people, he was anti-Semitic. Who else was anti-Semitic? Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was called anti-Semitic. He was also called a communist. Why? Because he refused to fight in the Vietnam War and because he had complaints about the treatment of black people by the ruling class. You know what they called him? Anti-Semitic. Now what is he? The greatest of all time. Now he's the greatest of all time. Who else was called anti-Semitic? Louis Farrakhan. Right. Louis Farrakhan was called anti-Semitic. Then they gave him Washington, D.C. to have the Million Man March, and Public Enemy and every rapper, sung about him. Let me tell you something about white America. You're going to have to suffer the hatred of white America until they realize that you're right. And then once they realize that you're right, they'll name a street after you. They'll give you the Million Man March. They'll make monuments in your name because of your huevos. Huevos, cojones, courage, balls. Does everyone understand? They'll see your courage, but they're not going to see it now. For now, they reward cowards, but in the future, they reward courage. Give me Chicago. Raise your hand. Give me Chicago. Go ahead, Op. I'm sorry. I thought someone had their hand up. Y'all good to go, Salaki? What else do you have, Op?
I got this right here.
Play it.
Concert.
We're looking to meet in person with Kyrie Irving next week. Now, this comes in the wake of Irving's social media post about a book and movie that includes anti-Semitic material. Irving and the Nets yesterday releasing a joint statement pledging to each donate $500,000 to anti-hate causes. Kyrie Irving speaking moments ago. Here it is new on Sports Center.
Here we go, sir.
With a week of hindsight, are you sorry for the hurt that your post caused people?
I take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, and the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So I take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam Silver wanted to hear the word "I apologize," or in your mind, you said, "I didn't mean to cause any harm." Were you apologizing or not?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
What are the specific things in the documentary that you don't believe are true and that you don't believe represent your cause?
I think some of the criticism of the Jewish faith in the community, for sure. Some points made in there that were unfortunate.
Kyrie, are you surprised that you did hurt people?
Surprised that I did hurt people?
Are you surprised that reaction and some of the things that you did hurt people?
Yeah, I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was...
It's like I said, I had to stop it here because they're asking him, is he surprised that what he said hurt people? And then he's about to say, where were you when my people were being hurt?
Play it.
Here we go, sir.
I was a kid figuring out that 300 million. I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid figuring out that 300 million of my ancestors are buried in America? Where were you guys asking those same questions when I was a kid learning about the traumatic events of my familial history and what I'm proud to come from and why I'm proud to stand here and why when I repeat myself that I'm not going to stand down, it has nothing to do with this missing any other race or group of people. I'm just proud of my heritage and what we've been through. And the fact that this has pinned me against the Jewish community. And I'm here answering questions of whether or not I'm sorry or not on something I didn't create. And it was something I shared. And I'm telling everybody I'm taking responsibility. Then that's where I sit.
And if I may, sir, this was the movie / book, I believe, that he posted on Twitter, which is called Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America.
And of course, this book is talking about how the Hebrews turned to Negroes. The same people that were called Hebrews are now called Negroes. Tengo balas huevos. Kyrie Irving has balls up. He has courage.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
If he really wanted to show how much courage he has, he should have posted these books.
Give him a hand. Play it. Show him the books to water. Go ahead.
He should have posted Reuben, My Excellence, and Issachar, Son of Jacob by Captain Kataza.
Give him a hand. But let me tell you, listen, Kyrie Irving, he's not a priest and officer in the UPK, right? He can only do but so much. Do you understand? The rest is our job, Bach, and the rest we'll do with no Kyrie Irving, before Kyrie Irving, and after Kyrie Irving. The rest we'll do before Kanye West, after Kanye West, and with no Kanye West. The point is that what he's saying is true. It's true. And let me tell you, and here's another problem with him not learning from Captain Kataza and not learning from the other brothers who write excellent books far better than that one that he knows about. You know what the problem is with him not being in the UPK? He doesn't know how to battle. You understand? And what have I always tried to teach you young brothers about battling? Come on, Levi. What do you want to say?
Don't battle on the defensive. Battle.
Now, he just encouraged me. Because as far as I know, no one listens to a goddamn thing I ever say. So water, Levi, that gave me encouragement to keep going. I almost opened up another bottle of single malt scotch tonight, but I'm not going to do that. I'm resisting that urge. But let me explain something to Kyrie Irving now. Never battle from the defense. Battle from the offense. And let me explain something on why that's so important. As you complain about how Jewish people raped and robbed the black people in the music industry, raped and robbed the black people in the sports industry, as you complain about how Catholics raped and robbed the Hispanics, and how the Protestants raped and robbed black people, what I want to understand is, when are all you good Jewish people going to challenge the bad Jewish people? What I don't understand, Asher, is how does someone in the music business steal the royalties of 13-year-old boys and girls, steal everything they have, and then go to synagogue on Saturday and their rabbi doesn't say anything?
Isn't that unlawful, sir?
Isn't that unlawful, Asher? How is it possible? How is it possible that you can have rich Jewish people who are only rich because they take advantage of poor people, and then they go to the Seder on Passover and eat the Passover meal, and their rabbi doesn't say, how did you get this money? Who are you taking advantage of to get this money? How are you doing this? When are you rabbis and Catholic priests going to take your blame for what your people have done to blacks and Hispanics? How is it that the mafia, the Italian mafia, can sell heroin and drugs in the black and Hispanic community and then attend mass on Sunday and then have your children christened and then receive communion on Sunday, when you know they're in the mafia, you know they're criminals, but you don't complain? You don't tell your Italian members, hey, the way you're treating black people is wrong. The Italian mafia spread drugs through the black community in Chicago, in Philadelphia, and in New York. And they get to go to mass on Sunday and receive the sacrament of the Eucharist and their children get baptized and confirmed, and no Catholic priest says anything? Are you telling me that Jewish people get to take advantage and steal from black performers all week, and then they get to go to Shabbat on Saturday, and they get to go to Passover Seders, and they get to go to synagogue and sit in the front row? Doesn't the rabbi know how you got your money? Doesn't the rabbi know what you've done to us to be rich? Why don't you Jewish people, you Italians, why don't you go and tell your members who take advantage of black people that they should stop doing that it's wrong, that it's immoral? But you believe because you don't consider us Jewish, you don't consider us Catholic, you believe that that gives you the right to abuse us. That's not what Commanding General Yohana teaches. He doesn't teach us. In the UPK, we don't steal from white people. In the Israelite school of UPK, we don't murder white people. We don't do that in here. We treat white people better than white people would ever treat us, ever. And now we have to sit and what? Explain why we complain? Why doesn't your rabbi complain? Why doesn't your Catholic priest complain? Wait a minute, are you a Christian? Do you know how many Christians molest children? How many Christians hurt and abuse black people? You're not complaining to him? You're not going to him about what he's done to blacks and Hispanics? You would never tell a woman she couldn't give the description of her rapist. If he was white, she could say he's white. If he was black, she could say he's black because she's the victim. We can't give the description of the person that stole our identity. We can't even give our own identity. The black man in North America, you're the real Jew of the Bible. Give me Jeremiah 14:2. Give me that, please, Asher.
Sir, I also have one more video as well.
Play it first.
Sir. Guess what happened?
Go ahead.
What more can you tell us about the decision to suspend Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, Shay, I think the Nets felt they had no alternative left after spending a week trying to work with Kyrie Irving, educate him on the impact that his promotion of that essentially hateful anti-Semitic documentary shared on his platform had on the world. And so I think for the Nets, the NBA, they were in a position where this had become an untenable situation with Kyrie Irving. And I think the Nets realized after 2 attempts in public with the media, the fact that Kyrie Irving would not denounce what was in that movie, would not apologize for, I think his role in promoting and certainly really hurting people in the community. This is a situation, I think, for Brooklyn now, where a 5-game suspension without pay minimally, and as they say, Kyrie Irving is going to have to remedy this situation. And I think right now, his future in Brooklyn, I think it's fair to say, is unclear because he has shown so far a resolve, a resistance to not apologize and to not denounce what is in that movie. And so I think for Brooklyn, they were in a position now, I think, where they had to suspend Kyrie Irving. The environment around the team, I think it was unsustainable. And there certainly had been the impact not just on the team and the basketball, I think the smallest part of it, but the organization, the community in Brooklyn, in New York. And I think for the NBA, this was a story and a situation that was not going to go away. And Brooklyn, again, I think Joe Tsai, their owner, thought that he could educate Kyrie Irving on the impact that this entire saga had on people, and just ultimately felt like they did not reach him. And now, finally, after a week,
Pause. That's enough.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
Salaki, sir. I just wanted to one thing I remember you said years ago when a cartoon brought out Hebrew Israelites, and you always say this, they're not making fun of you, they're making fun of us. And it's when they say things like you're not denouncing the movement and the things those movements do, they're talking about the niggas on the corner in Times Square saying we are going to put white people in slavery because of the things that they did to us.
Do you understand that they're suspending Kyrie Irving for saying that the Hebrews became Negroes? They're infringing on his freedom of religion. So are you telling me that a Negro can't think that at one time he was called a Hebrew? That is worthy of suspension? Simply, and this devil just said it, because he must denounce Hebrews to Negroes. He has to denounce it. He has to denounce it for simply saying that the Hebrews became Negroes. So in essence, it's racist if you say that the Jews are not white. The Jews have to be white. I don't have the freedom to be a Jew in America. In America, I can't be a Jew. Let me tell you something now. Shout out to Malakwath in Houston now, Officer Malakwath of 5,000. He just sent me a text. Draymond Green punched another Jew in the face and knocked him out. He did not get suspended. Last month, he didn't get suspended. How many games was Draymond Green, who is a Jew? He's a Jew. And he punched another Jew in the face and knocked him out. How many games was he suspended? None. No suspension. Play the video of Draymond Green for a second. And if you want to realize, if you need proof that you're the real Jew, this video is the proof. You're allowed to hurt another black man, another Jew, but you can't just say that black people are the Jews. If white people are allowed to be the Jews, then why can't black people be the Jews? If they're allowed to say they're Jews, and we're all getting this from the Bible, why can't I read the Bible and say that we're the Jews? And don't I have a freedom of religion? Can I believe something different than someone else believes? You know who's to blame? You good Jewish people. You never stopped your bad Jewish people from raping and robbing black people. You know who's to blame? You good Catholics. You never stopped those bad Catholics from being the mafia, the Italian mafia, and from selling drugs. But meanwhile, if my people give the description of the man that robbed us, and if we just simply say, we are the chosen people of God, if we say what you say, then we have to be suspended. Let me show you what does not get you suspended. Play it, please. Knocked him out. It was all of the news. It was videotape of it. How long did he get suspended? 0 games, 0 practices, nothing. Because he hurt another black man. And that goes to the last thing I wanted to bring out tonight. A lot of you heard about the brother, what's his name again, my young? Takeoff. The brother Takeoff, who was killed today. This poor brother, he was 28 years old, Asher. This brother was 28 years old, which to me is a child. I got a little young son who's far too young for a man my age. And I'm playing with him today. And as I'm playing with him, this is one of my emotional problems because I'm from the tribe of Judah. All I can see is brothers in the school who I believe need my help. And as I'm playing with him, I'm thinking to myself, damn, this brother didn't have a father who kissed him the way I kissed my son. this brother didn't have a father that hugged him the way that I'm hugging my son. And all I could think about was brothers in the school as I'm kissing and hugging my 6-month-old son. I can't get it off my mind. It's plaguing me to where I'm thinking I'm kissing and hugging my son, but this brother didn't have a father to love him. And so now I have to make up for it. I have to be the father figure that loves him because my son is getting something that this brother didn't get. And it's vexing me all day today. And that's my confession. That's good for the soul. And as I'm thinking about it, all I can think of is brothers who don't get this, who don't receive this. And then I look on TV and I see that some 28-year-old boy was murdered today at a dice game. And of course, it's making the world news because this 28-year-old boy was Takeoff from the rap group, the Migos, and they're very famous and very successful. But all I could think about is how this is commonplace to brothers who are not successful, to brothers who aren't rich and who aren't famous. And I have cousins that died like this, family members and friends that went to the death row and died on death row and died just like this. And I think about how common it is for Black people to die just like this. And a lot of you right now are sad about the Migos brother dying and Takeoff dying, but you're not ready to make the kind of change that must be made so that it doesn't happen again. First of all, let me tell you what would have to happen. If you're sad about Takeoff dying, you would have to stop smoking weed. You'd have to give up that. Because as long as you are a drug addict, you're going to make mistakes while you're high. You can't smoke weed and be a drug addict and not make mistakes. It comes with the territory. If you're going to be an alcoholic and drive, you're going to crash because you're an alcoholic and you're driving a car. Well, marijuana is not something that you can smoke and live your life in a safe way. You're going to smoke weed, and when you're smoking weed, you're going to fight someone. You're going to have sex with someone. You're going to get in an argument with someone. You're going to make bad decisions because you're high. So if you don't want to die and you don't want your favorite musicians or your cousins or your father or your brothers to die, you're going to have to stop getting high. You're going to have to give up cocaine. You're going to have to give up smoking weed. You're also going to have to give up this. You're going to have to give up alcoholism. You're going to have to stop drinking so much that you don't know what you're doing. You're going to have to either not drink at all or drink in moderation. If you can't drink in moderation and you can't stop drinking, then you're going to kill someone when you're drunk. You're going to fight someone when you're drunk. If you can't stop doing those things, then you are going to be the next brother who gets shot in a dice game. Here's the next thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to be in control of your emotions. You're going to have to control yourself. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. You're going to have to be upset about a dice game or about an argument and tell yourself, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave. I'm going to control myself. I'm going to control my emotions. I'm not going to allow my emotions to cause me to sin against God. You're going to have to do that. In a nutshell, you're going to have rules. These rules are what the Israelite School of UPK is built on. Rules. We're not religious in the Israelite School of UPK. We don't believe in religion. We don't believe in it. We're not religious. We're very practical. We have rules that we live by. These rules mean I can't be an alcoholic. I can't get high. I can't allow my anger to cause me to harm another brother. And let me give you something else that you would have to do. You would have to value the life of black people more than white people want you to. White people don't want you to value the life of your teammate, to value the health of your teammate. White people don't want you to not make a song that promotes murder and promotes drug addiction, which is why gangster rap and music that promotes crime is promoted in society, when it's an actual crime to do the things in the song. But this society promotes it because this society does not want you to love each other. They don't want you to value the life of another Jew, because the black man is the real Jew that the Bible speaks of. Jesus Christ is a black man. The tribe of Judah are black people. And you would have to look at every brother, every sister as being the chosen people of God. That black woman who you are going to have sex with and then lead into an abortion clinic, that's a daughter of Zion. She's like Sarah or Mary. That woman is the chosen daughter of God. And when you have sex with her and throw her away, or when you lead her to an abortion clinic, you are committing an act, a violation against a daughter of God, and you are killing a child of God. And this world doesn't want you to consider each other chosen, special, or holy. And that's the reason that Kyrie Irving is being persecuted. That's the reason that Kanye West is being persecuted. The reporter just said it. He has to denounce the book that says that the Hebrews became Negroes. So that is anti-Semitic. So to believe that you're a Jew is hateful to Jews, someone Jewish should explain it to me. I would like that to be explained to me, because as far as I know, all it's doing is making me consider another black person the chosen people, a special person, someone rare and beautiful to God. White people are so fucking selfish that they won't even share self-esteem with you. They won't even share self-respect. They're the only ones allowed to have self-respect. I can't have self-esteem. So is self-esteem a Jewish trait that I can't ever have? So only Jewish people can love other Jewish people and take care of Jewish people and help Jewish people in business. You can't share self-respect. You can't share self-esteem. Fuck you. I'll take it for myself. I'll take it for myself. Since you won't share it with me, since I have to fight you for self-esteem, that's all I'm asking for. I look at Jewish people, they use the laws of God to build a prosperous and successful people. The black man is the real Jew, and I want to use those laws for my people's own prosperity and own self-respect. But you won't even share self-respect with me. I'll take it for myself. I'll take it for myself. Jeremiah 14:2.
Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth.
The Bible says that Judah is in mourning. What is Judah? The tribe of Judah, the real Jews of the Bible. The Lord said that the tribe of Judah is in mourning. What is mourning? Lamentos in Spanish. To lament, to be in sadness, That's what mourning is, to be sad. And what people is more sad than the tribe of Judah? Even our music is called the blues. Our hip-hop music is about what, Chicago? You know better than most people, Chicago. What is your music about? Your brother dying. the gang that you're in, how in Chicago, they name their neighborhoods. In Chicago, don't you name your neighborhoods after people who have died in that neighborhood? Am I wrong? Ryan, go ahead.
You're on mute, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you fine.
The music in Chicago is called drill music. It's called. And they named after like brothers like what's the name? Tuka.
O Block. What is O Block? What is O Block, Ryan?
O Block is Odell Perry.
Odell Perry. In our music is named after the brother that got killed from that neighborhood. The block is named after Tuka and O, because that's the brother who he loved, and he's gone. Some 18-year-old child, 15-year-old child who's dead. There are no people that are more in mourning than us. We're sad. We lament. We're miserable. Everything about our life is death. All of the tattoos, all over your chest and arms are the names of your brothers who died, the names of your family members who died. The Bible says that the Jews are in mourning. They're in sadness. Keep going.
And the gates thereof languish.
And the gates thereof languish. What are gates? Gates are the protection that you put around a home. That's a gate, right? You got a beautiful home. You want to protect that home. You build a gate around that home to protect that home that you love. The word languish means to weaken or to fall. Our gates are fallen. What does that mean? We have no protection. No protection. Can you imagine how much protection the so-called Jewish man has? Nigga, you can't even read a book without his permission. You have to get a Jewish man's permission to read a book. I thought they wanted niggers to read. I think in slavery, your eyes were burned out for reading. Now you're telling me in 2022, you have to get persecuted for reading a book? For reading a goddamn book? The same slaves who were told they weren't allowed to read. Slaves were told it was illegal for you to read. Are you telling me in 2022, it's still illegal for me to read? You won't let me have self-respect. I'll take it for myself. I'll take it for myself. Because if I leave it to you, I can't read a book. I can't read the book. I have to get your permission to read books. I'll take self-respect even if you won't give it to me. Hazahad.
A while ago with the Kyrie Irving thing, that oppressor on there was saying that he has to get re-educated like communist China.
Like communist China, brother. Kyrie Irving is being persecuted for reading a book. And he's the descendant of slaves who were persecuted for reading books. Now, what's the other thing that you have to do if you don't want people like Takeoff to get killed? You're going to have to go against popular society because they don't want you to read books. They don't want you to read. They want you to shoot and kill and sell drugs and sing and rap and dance. But you are literally, now remember this when I say this. This is not hyperbole. This is not an exaggeration. This brother is being persecuted for reading a book. And he's going to lose his job if he doesn't tell black people not to read a book. He has to say, don't read this book. Don't open this book. He has to say that in 2022 because white people don't want black people to have self-esteem. So we better take it ourselves. The Jews are sad. They're in mourning. They sing about sadness. Their neighborhoods are named after dead children. We're in mourning. We're sad. Keep going.
They are black.
They are what?
Black.
They are what?
Black.
Negro. They are black. The Jews are black. The tribe of Judah is sad. They're in mourning. They have weak gates, weak protection, weak leaders. There's no people that have weaker leaders than us, which is why we thank Yahweh Shai for commanding General Yohana, because commanding General Yohana has huevos, cojones. He has balls. He has courage, because he's not a weak leader. And we thank the Lord for him, because all of the other so-called leaders of black people have languished. They're weak. The Christian church, the black Christian church, weak. The black Catholic church, weak. Weak, all of them weak. And the Jews are black. This is in the Bible. Jeremiah, Abala Yehuda, Kadar Lula Aidi. That's Yiddish for the so-called Jewish man who has some Jewish thief sitting in a synagogue every Saturday who he praises and plays golf with, and he doesn't care that this Jewish person robs black people. For the Catholic priest that has someone in the mafia sitting next to him every Sunday in church, who he's going to christen his child and baptize his children. He doesn't care that this Italian mafia member hurts black people and sells drugs to black people. He doesn't care. Read it again from the top.
Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
And the cry of Jerusalem has gone up. I know that you were hoping that, the white media and the white blogosphere and white women would hear you, but they're not going to hear you, because all of them get rich from the powers that rule this world. And no one wants to make them angry, because if you make them angry, you go poor and you suffer. And so no one wants to anger them. But the cry of Jerusalem has gone up. The Most High God has looked down from heaven, and he's heard our cries. He sees our mourning. He sees 350 years of tears, of sadness. And black people, we want white people to feel for us. That's all you want. You bring up your problems and you bring up how you've been abused, hoping that you'll find good white people that will say, well, I'm Jewish, but what other Jewish people did in the music industry is wrong. Damn, is that so much to ask for? Where are the Jewish people standing up to the other Jewish people in the music business? Where are they at? When are Jewish people, good Jewish people, going to say, Leor Cohen, you can't come to synagogue until you give black people back their money? Until they say Universal Records, you can't come to synagogue until you give black people back their money. When are the Catholic priests going to say, you can't get your son christened? You can't get your children baptized. You can't receive the Eucharist until you make right what you've done to black people in the ghetto. When are the good Catholics, the good Jewish people? And I know there's some of you out there. I know you see what other Jewish people have done in the music business, in the sports industry. I know you see it. When are you going to step up and make your fellow Jewish people accountable for what they've done to my people? Because if you're not going to say anything about it, Commanding General Yohana has to. He's going to have to do it because you refuse to do it. Anything else?
Yes, sir. One last thing, sir. The 54th annual Passover.
Give him a hand. Give him a hand. I believe. Hold up. You talking about my announcement, Asher? I damn near forgot the whole thing. I'm glad you said something. So Water, the 54th annual Passover. Commanding General Yohana called me today, and he said, "MAHAYAMAN, go down there and let everyone know where the Passover will be." Let me tell you where the Passover is going to be this year. This year, the 54th annual Passover will be in Raleigh, North Carolina. North Kakalaki. Give him a hand. I can tell you why y'all was shy. North Carolina, Captain Naya Thuck. You won the Passover this year, brother. This year, the Passover will be in Raleigh, North Carolina. Ooh wee, down there with them Southern girls, my young. I heard they down there for you. Southern girls down there in Raleigh, North Carolina. That is a beautiful city. Oh, it's just tranquil and green and hospitable people. Oh, and they have a whole list of activities. Oh my God. You should hear the list of activities. Now, what you want to do now is you want to start getting your plane tickets, if necessary, and your hotel rooms for North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. You want to get your Airbnbs, you want to get your plane tickets, you want to find the right price, and you want to get down there. What's the date for the Passover? Did I give you the date yet?
I think April 1st, I believe, is the Passover, sir.
Okay, April 1st is the Passover. So you know the all-black party. When is all that stuff, Asher? The all-black party?
It's like the correction is April 2nd.
I don't know about that. That don't sound right. Who can confirm that? Where's General Mayak at? Get General Mayak. I better give you the date real fast.
On the calendar, it said April 1st for the
that's an approved calendar for this year.
That's the one that General Mayak put out for all the high holidays and feast days.
All right. Well, he put it out recently.
I'm verifying right now, sir. I got to say to my phone because I'm making the new calendars.
Let me call Mayak real fast. Hold on.
Passover, Saturday, April 1st.
Saturday, April 1st.
Let me make sure.
Feast on the bread stick.
1 second. Mayak, are you fine? Mayak, what day is the Passover on? April 1st. That's all I need. April 1st is the Passover. So now you remember before the Passover, when is the all-black party? Who knows about that? Let me get Zakar. Zakar handles all of those things. Hold on. April 1st is the Passover. Zakar, the all-black party and all those events that you have all lined up for the Passover, all that exciting and wonderful thing, all those exciting and wonderful things. When is the all-black party?
The all-black party, I believe it was planned on Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right, Zakar. Friday, what is that Friday before the Passover? I appreciate it. Y'all about your Shah Brakatah. Okay, y'all heard that. All right, so remember, you got the all-black party. That's coming up. And that's just so you know, I'm not even telling you yet where it's going to be in Raleigh, because of course, Commanding General Yohana is plotting on the biggest event place possible. He's combing over. Commanding General Yohana is combing all of North Carolina, finding a place suitable to the Most High's glory, to the best of our ability, in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. But remember, we're having an all-black party. We're having the Passover. We're having the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We're having all kinds of events and activities for family fun, for the brothers to go out, for the sisters to have a good time, karaoke, fun, wonderful things that Commanding General Yohana is all working around and doing right now. In the next coming weeks, I'll tell you where the venue will be, where we're having these things. For now, he wanted you to know that it's in Raleigh, North Carolina, so you can make your travel arrangements. But I have more announcements coming. Does everyone understand? I pray you do. The Passover will be in Raleigh, North Carolina this year. Make sure you're there. Who knows what kind of special guests, special surprises that Commanding General Yohana has in store for all of us. Everyone understands? Okay, anything else? Let me practice my. Who speaks Spanish in the room tonight? Anyone? Oh, you got an A+ in Spanish, huh? You got an A in Spanish. All right. Gracias. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let me get this thing. I got to read real fast. Hold on. I got something in specific I got to read. 1 second. Asher, that was it, right? No more questions?
We got a bunch of questions, sir.
Oh, shit. Where are we? Oh, is Kataza there?
Last, we're gonna be doing a rerun episode of a Captain Tazariak's lecture.
All right, well, give me a couple more questions then. 1 second. Anyone that has to leave, I don't give a damn. Just go ahead and do the questions. All right, go ahead.
Counselor, our body in the room has a question, sir.
Go ahead, Art.
Question. I have the script. Where exactly would I want to go to show that an avenger of the issue was talking about a family member? I have the verse here in Deuteronomy 19. Then I had another question on subject.
Is this okay? Read it one more time.
This is Deuteronomy 19:6. Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer while his heart is hot and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, when inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Meaning the avenger of death, if somebody commits a murder, their close relative can go after.
Okay, the Bible doesn't say his close relative. The Bible says the person who loved the person who's angry will kill you. There's no scripture that says this is talking about your cousin. Anyone might be angry enough to kill you if you mistakenly killed someone else. The assumption is, of course, that the people that love you are close to you. Do you understand?
Sir.
Like if someone ever harmed you, Abadja, I would want to kill them. You understand?
Sir.
Because I love you, because we're close. So that's the assumption, that the person who wants to kill the person that harmed you is someone who's close to you. So that's all. It's not, there's no precept that says this is pertaining to a family member. The assumption is if the person wants to kill over you, they must be close to you, because strangers don't want to kill for people they don't know. Do you get my point?
Sir. And if I may, I had another question. This is on subject. This is Deuteronomy 22 and 25. Really, my question's in 26, but 25 is the setup. But this is 25. But if a man found a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. The 26 is the question. But under the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. Is he basically saying an avenger can go after a rapist as well as a murderer, or no?
No, he's saying that rape is equal to murder in the law. Do you understand or not?
But that's not saying that you can get, just like with a murderer, you can get up and deal with them. But you can't do that with a rapist.
You can't get up and deal with him in murder. You can't just go say he murdered somebody and go kill him, because then when the priests come, they'll kill you.
Well, Salakia, so what if I could get an understanding of the Avenger? Because if I understand right, you have to make the refuge town before the Avenger finds you, or else it's lawful.
Okay, let's say you found someone and you said they killed your brother, right?
Right.
You killed them. Now the priest come and you tell them what?
I killed this brother because he killed my brother.
And what did the priest say to you?
Salakia, I'm not sure.
Common sense, practical. Be practical.
That wasn't sanctioned?
How did the priest know you killed him? For what reason you killed him?
Because it would be, he'd be wanted already.
He'd be wanted? What are you talking about? You said that he killed your brother, and that's why you killed him, right?
Right.
Now the priests come because they know you killed somebody.
Right.
Then you tell them, oh, I killed him because he killed my brother. What will, just think practically, what will the priest say?
That's still a crime?
Why is it still a crime?
Because I'm not a priest.
How do they know that you're not lying?
Sir.
It's just practical. And if you can just untap that when you're reading the Bible, you'll understand the Bible more. You can't just say, oh, I killed him. Maybe Cain says that. The Lord, Cain killed Abel, right?
Sir.
So when the Most High comes to him, he says, Abel stole from me. What does the Most High say?
Salakia, how do I know you're not lying?
Exactly. Isn't that just practical, right? Isn't that just normal? You could not just go kill someone because you decided to kill them for your reasons. The priests had to sanction judgment. Do you understand?
Sir.
Think about the woman that was caught in the very act of adultery. Was her husband just there by himself?
La.
Who was there?
What's it called? It was her, the husband, and the other man.
There was a whole crowd of people there.
Right.
You understand? It's like court. You couldn't just kill someone. The law you pulled earlier is about the scapegoat. Is about the place of refuge.
Right.
Meaning you might kill someone and it was justifiable homicide or it was an accident. Even though it's an accident, the priest would say, because it's an accident, what would the priest say to you? If you kill somebody by accident, you're working together and you made a mistake and you stabbed them by mistake, would the priest kill you?
Salakia, la'a.
No. What would they do to you?
Salakia, they wouldn't, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there also some penalty for manslaughter or la'a?
Okay, there's a sacrifice that has to be made for a mistake. But would the priest kill you
for
a murder that was a mistake?
La'a, there is no crime. No, la'a, that's not death penalty, sir.
What about your cousins? What about your brothers?
Meaning if somebody kills them?
I'm sorry, what about his cousins and his brothers?
Like if somebody kills his cousin and his brothers.
Yeah, no, meaning you killed somebody by mistake.
Right.
Please say you're innocent because it was a mistake. But his cousins, his brothers will want to kill you.
Sir.
Because they don't care about the law. They don't care about what the priests say. They'll want to kill you. So what provision is in the law for when it's a justifiable homicide, a homicide where there was a mistake, but you know that he has people that are going to still want you dead? What provision do we have in the law for that?
That would be the law of refuge city, sir.
Yes, the law of refuge. So then the priest says, you're innocent. That was a mistake. I weighed the matter. I did an investigation. You're innocent. But I can't account for what his cousin might say or the people that love him, what they might do. So I'm going to send you to this city until cooler heads prevail, until things calm down. Because right now they're angry and they might want to come kill you. So the priest would hide you somewhere so everyone could relax and so they could see reason. Do you understand or not?
Sir, if I may, sir, just one last thing. Is that where sanctuary cities, is that where Esau gets that from?
That's where he gets the term, but that's not the actual purpose of a sanctuary city. Correct. A sanctuary city was for people who killed someone, but it was not murder. It was a mistake, an accident, or justifiable homicide. The priest would not authorize you to be killed, but they couldn't account for what his loved ones might do. So they sent you to a city. They made a sacrifice of a goat, which was called the scapegoat, because this goat helped you escape. You escaped his loved ones. They killed the goat. You went to some city. They couldn't get into that city. That city was protected. So all of his loved ones could not get there because that city was protected by who? Abadja.
Priest.
By priests.
And if I may, without scrolling through it, this had to be a Levite, one of the 6 Levite cities in each territory, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Absolutely. That they kept the sanctuary cities. The cities for people who needed protection because they might be killed even though they did nothing wrong by law. Do you understand?
Count on count, sir. That's everything. The water, sir.
All right. Next. How's it hard?
People out there are saying that the river Euphrates drying up today is related to Revelation 16 and 12, right? I wanted a proper breakdown on this verse if I could, sir.
Salaki, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Chicago. Go ahead.
This is Captain Marquardt. I wanted to ask if Chicago if we could be excused, sir, so we can start our camp council.
You're excused, Ak. How about you, Shabbat a thumb? Water. Go ahead, Ak.
So Revelation 16 and 12, and the 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof dried up, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Okay, this one I can't remember again. This is definitely talking about the last days and about the coming of Christ and about the destruction that's coming to the Middle East. Now, I believe you're asking me, is the river dried up literal? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying whether it's literal. I just want to review the breakdown. I don't know if it's literal or not, but I know people in the world are saying that the river drying up today, which I think is because of the dams, but they saying the river drying up today is related to this.
Okay, the part of whether it's literal or not, I can't recall. About 50-50 on it, I can't remember, but read the rest of it.
Verse I want to read it. You want to start at a verse before?
No, read where you were. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast.
Do you need that broken down?
Okay, Consul.
Okay, the 3 unclean spirits are talking about lies, right? They come out of his mouth. They're frogs. They're unclean. They shouldn't be in your mouth because you're not allowed to eat frogs. Over in France and in Louisiana, they eat a lot of frogs' legs. Frogs are unclean to have in your mouth. So he's seeing frogs in someone's mouth to indicate it's unclean. It shouldn't be in your mouth. What do these frogs represent? Lies. Lies shouldn't be in your mouth, like frogs' legs or pork or shrimp. Do you understand? Keep going.
And out of the mouth of the false prophet.
And out of the mouth of the false prophet. Who are false prophets? Based on how Jewish people behave, rabbis are false prophets because they don't correct the Jewish people that go to their synagogues who mistreat, abuse, and take advantage of poor black people in the music business and in the entertainment business in total. They're false prophets. They're lying to Jewish people. They're lying to them and telling them that they're Jews when they're not. They're lying to them. Do you understand? All right. Who else are false prophets? Catholic priests are lying to people in the mafia who come to receive the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist when they're in the mafia and they sell heroin in Harlem. They're lying to them. Who else is lying? Preachers in the Protestant faiths like the Seventh-day Adventists and the Apostolic Church, and in the African Methodists, and in the Baptist and Episcopalian and Holiness Church. You have a ton of liars who are your preachers. They lie to you. They lie to you about who you are. They lie to you about the burden of God that you have to keep. They tell you that you can celebrate Halloween, Christmas, and Thanksgiving when these things are sins against God. They tell you that you're African American when really you're the true Jews of the Bible. They lie to you about who the Hispanics are when they're really your brothers, the chosen people of God. They're lies in the mouth of the false prophet.
Right.
They lie to you about the coming of Jesus Christ. They lie to you about the rapture. They lie to you about heaven. They lie to you about everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. Keep going.
Verse 14. For they are the spirits of devils.
You understand that? The spirits of deceivers. Deceivers. Diablos. Deceivers. That's what's in their stinking, lying mouths.
Right.
Anything else?
Working miracles.
Working what?
Working miracles.
What do they do?
Working miracles.
They work miracles. Hallelujah. They do amazing things. These Christians, these Catholics. Do you know these Catholics have statues that cry? Do you know that, Hazahab? Did you know that, Hazahab? They got statues with tears coming out the eyes. Were you aware of that?
Sir, I was not aware.
Oh, they got a Mary statue, brother, that's bleeding tears. Red tears coming out her face. Do you know that there's a picture of Jesus in toast? Do you know about that? Oh, you can get some toast, Doc, that's Jesus on that toast. You didn't know, Hazahab. This is all blowing your mind.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh, listen, they got statues, brother. They got, first of all, they see the Mother Mary in all things, in everything. Here's the Mother Mary, and she's crying. They got the Fatima, the miracle of Fatima, the 3 children of Fatima. These 3 children saw the Blessed Mother Mary, and she was crying and all of this, and it's all bull nonsense. It's all a lie. Their miracles are lies. Do you understand? They're going to show you great miracles, amazing things. The Catholics, the Jewish people, here's their miracle. Here's their miracle. The lamp on Hanukkah only had enough oil for 3 days, and it burned 7 days. I mean, whoever said that lie doesn't even have a good imagination. You telling me the Hanukkah lie is about oil lasting for longer days than they were supposed to last? That's not even a good imagination. That's a piss poor lie. All of their miracles are lies. And you'll find the Catholic Church is full of... Asher, give me a picture of an old crying Mary statue. They're all over the damn place. Or Jesus in toast. Jesus on a wall of paint. The paint dries and there's Jesus. The Shroud of Turin. How about that? The Shroud of Turin is a piece of cloth that they say was the body of Jesus. Right. That's a that one. They'll pull it up for you. The body of Jesus, like radiation printed on this cloth. And of course, it's the image of a white man. It's called the Shroud of Turin. It's all fake, all a lie, all like frogs in your mouth. Yes. He's getting it. There you go. Look at her. She's just crying like a baby there. You see that? You see that, Asher?
Oh, commercial. Hold on 1 second, sir.
Let me tell you, our brothers, the tribe of Issachar, the Puerto Ricans, the South Americans, they drop to their goddamn knees when they see that Mary statue crying. They drop to their, Santa Maria, Holy Cristo, Santa Maria. They drop to their knees and cry at the feet of this goddamn thing here. Do you see her, Hazahab?
Oh, can I see it, sir?
That's her. Whatever. Meanwhile, there's a little Catholic boy in the back of it squirting water out the bitch's eyes. And that's that.
Right.
All right, anything else? Go ahead.
Or you're more on this, sir? Or it ties us into World War III a little bit.
So you get that. So all of it is about the fall of the king. Those kings are talking about the kings that will come into the valley of decision and be destroyed there. It's all about those kings are talking about all of the great kings of this earth, like the Babylonian kings, the Assyrian kings, and all of those different kings. They're coming into that valley, the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of decision, and that's where the Third World War is going to take place. The only part I can't remember is whether that's a literal drying up of that river or not. I just can't recall. I'll call Commander General Yahan about it later, all right?
Go with sir.
All right, but all of it is about the Third World War, the decline of our enemy, and how they're going to be destroyed in that land, in the Middle East. So it's literally talking about coming into the land of the Middle East, bringing all of their armies into that land to be destroyed. And so the land is absolutely literal. I just don't recall if the river is literal. You with me or not?
I'm with you. If I could say, this also ties in with the rabbi that Haryala was talking about.
Break it down. What do you mean? Break it down.
Oh yeah, he's a Jewish rabbi who's working. They say he's working miracles, and they got his pictures all over Eastern Parkway and Crown Heights. You know what I mean? They had the
So you heard of this guy?
Sir?
So you've heard of him?
Yeah, I've never heard of him. I just see them with the pictures, and they march around with these other Arab-looking Jewish people, and you know what I mean. They cheer or boo whoever based on how people react to it, and so
well.
forth.
And what are the Hasidim doing down there? The Hasidic Jews.
What do you mean, sir?
What do they say about this guy? Is he Hasidic? Is he an Orthodox Jewish person?
If I could ask Haryala, sir.
Go ahead.
What? Salakia, sir, if I may, the Hasidic community is saying that he's Christ, and the Hasidic community here in New York went and met with him over in Israel, and then when he came back, he basically came to America, was like, yes, he is the Messiah, and that's when they started putting up the posters everywhere in Brooklyn.
So the Hasidic community are a small group among the popular Jewish community. And if he's Christ, then he needs to go down there and talk to those rabbis about how they're robbing black people in the music business. If he's the white Messiah, then he should go talk to the Jewish people who are robbing black people in the entertainment business. Let's see what he does about that first. Of course, I mean, there's 1,000 people calling themselves Jesus. I'll give you that one precept in the New Testament. If they say, lo, come here, come there, this is Jesus, don't believe him. Go ahead, read that. Levi, I'm sorry, what do you have?
If I may, sir, as the white Messiah, he should also be concerned about these babies that are getting herpes from these rabbis.
Yeah, ain't that something, Levi? Give Levi a hand. If he's the white Messiah, then what he should do is stop sucking the penises of all of those babies. The moil, that's who does that. The moil. Look up a Jewish moil. A Jewish moil performs the circumcision for the Hasidic Jewish people when their babies are circumcised. And the traditional practice is after you cut the blood off, after you cut the foreskin off the baby's little white penis, you suck the penis with wine in your mouth to stop the bleeding. Am I making this up? I'm not. Yeah, how do I know about it? Because back in the early 2000s, babies died from herpes because these Hasidic moils had herpes. And they killed, somebody look it up, man. Why I gotta bring out every goddamn thing? Put it in your Google and see how many little baby penises got sucked and the baby died because the moil had herpes. And what's the natural question? Where the hell did he get herpes from in the first place? Where did that moil get herpes from? From prostitutes. Because the Hasidic Jewish community goes to prostitutes, has sex with prostitutes. Why? Who can blow my mind? Why are Hasidic Jewish people going to prostitutes, selling ecstasy, selling Molly, getting it from Russia, getting it from Afghanistan. Why are they allowed to do things like that? No one has an answer?
Salakia.
Abadja?
Because they believe that they're doing it to a lesser people, sir.
Give him a hand. Guess why?
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
I just always found it because I used to do a lot of delivery work, and I found it very funny, especially first coming into the truth. And I'm saying they have the world on a string, but it's like, I'll go into Jewish offices. Issachar is working in the office, like on a Friday night. Like, and I'm like a trooper in the school. I'm like, you're not even supposed to have a goddamn ox working right now, and you have a full human being working. Like, they do not keep the law at all, sir.
Well, I'm waiting for these good Jewish people to challenge these rabbis on what you just said, because for all time, they have been getting Hispanics, West Indians to do things on the Sabbath that they would never do on the Sabbath.
Right.
They would never do, that they believe is unlawful to do. But they pay Black people, West Indians, Hispanics to do what they consider unlawful. And there are syndicates of Hasidic Jews selling ecstasy. You can put this in your Google machine. Ecstasy, Molly, all of those designer drugs come from Russia and Israel. The drugs you take when you go out to a club and you get high with. And they're allowed to do it by their rabbi. Their rabbi sanctions it because they're selling drugs to Black people. Because they have Black people doing what they consider is unlawful on the Sabbath. I know there's a lot of good Jewish people out there. I'm just wondering when you're going to stand up for the rest of us. When are you going to stand up for the Hispanics that do things that you think are unlawful on the Sabbath, forced to do it by their Jewish bosses? I know you'll never do it because you think that you have a patent on self-respect. Commanding General Yohana decided to take some self-respect for our own, to take it for ourselves. And the Black man in America, you're the real Jew. You're the biblical ethnic Jew that the Bible speaks of, and we can prove it in the Bible. Anything else, Asher?
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
Article of we got both of them, right? We
Go
got
ahead.
the Times of Israel newspaper. Ultra-Orthodox man nabbed with 13,000 ecstasy pills.
How many? 13?
13,000 ecstasy
1,300.
13,000.
13,000 ecstasy pills.
Federal Khan. July.
One Orthodox Jewish person. So you see him with those curls and the black hat, and you think they're so religious, and these rabbis are to blame. Not the average Jewish person. They don't know any better. But your rabbis, they do know better. And they are so religious and so diligent and so orthodox. But they're able and allowed to, by their rabbi, to sell poison to Black people, to sell poison to West Indians, to sell poison to the Hispanics. Why doesn't your rabbi command that you treat people who are not Jewish better? Why are you able to do that? Commanding General Yohana teaches us that Black people are the real Jews, and we don't sell drugs to white people. Do you understand me, Hazahab? We don't sell drugs to white teenagers. We don't make music that promotes drug addiction and sell it to white people. We don't make music that promotes violence and sell it to white people. But you do make music that promotes violence and drug addiction and death. And you literally sell ecstasy to Black people, and you're considered an Orthodox Jew. Where are the rabbis at who will challenge themselves for falling down on their duty to be leaders in the Jewish community? To be leaders. To step up and tell Jewish people, you can't treat Black people like that just because they're not Jewish. You can't do that to them, because here we are, the real Jews, and we would never do that to Jewish people. Jew. When I say Jewish, I mean they're not Jews, but they are kind of like a Jew, act like a Jew. The Bible says that they are not all Israel, that are of Israel. Being of Israel means they act like an Israelite. They live in an Israelite land, but they're not Israel. They're Israelite-ish. They're of Israel. You are Jewish, but you treat everyone like garbage who's not. Where's your rabbi at to put you in your place? I guess we'll have to do it. Anything else?
3 ultra-Orthodox Israeli men will be charged Monday with attempting to smuggle thousands of ecstasy pills from Germany to Israel.
For what? I gotta roll. For water. You can Google what the hell I'm saying. Like, what I'm saying is true. You understand? It's true. Commanding General Yohana taught it to me because it's true. And he is a better leader than your rabbi. Your rabbi is a terrible leader because he lets you sell drugs. He lets you abuse little black children who need money, and so they sign a terrible contract that you take advantage of them with for the rest of their life. Have you ever read the language in a music contract out? Oh, if you want to read slavery, read a music contract. Who knows what the term in perpetuity means? That's a legal term. You'll read a contract, Doc, and it'll say they own your image and likeness in perpetuity. Now, you from the ghetto, you don't know what the hell that means. Meaning your name is Hazahab, right? Well, they own that name forever. In perpetuity. Meaning if you were a 78-year-old man and you wanted to say Hazahab is performing tonight in the old folks' home, you better give them their cut because that's their money. You can't have your name anymore. Your name belongs to them. Every penny you make belongs to them in perpetuity. And guess what age you are when you sign that contract? 16, 13 years old. And you have a lawyer who's their cousin, who they referred to you. Now, where's the rabbi that says that's wrong? That's wrong to do to them. I got to go. I got to get the hell up out of here.
Salakia, sir.
Come on, please.
I have a question on subject. I'm seeing a lot of their cronies, meaning like a lot of our people that are like Shine, so on and so forth, that are starting to somewhat come out the woodwork. How do we deal with those brothers that are just because I'm starting to like dealing with them? I'm starting to finally see like they lie to us or cats who go into quote unquote Judaism. Like Judaism is a religion, but anyone who studies the Bible and sees Jewish people knows behind closed doors, they understand this is about a bloodline. But they lie to everybody. No, it's about a nation. It has nothing to do with being a blood Jew or not. And how do we combat them and see brothers that are just that lost in the sauce?
Okay, well, here's what you might need with this, right? And this is what I believe Kyrie Irving and Kanye West and the future so-called celebrities that will believe what Commanding General Yohana is teaching. When you read the Bible, right, if you are not practical, you can think that everyone believed what was right at any given time in the Bible. If you pick any Bible story, any time in the Bible, the minority were the people that did the right thing. The majority of people always are lost. So many times people are you're looking for the vast majority of society to believe you. So you're looking at them, they're so lost. And this is what you have to understand. They're going to stay lost. You understand that? They're not coming into the truth. They're not going to believe that the Jews are black because they are in darkness. They're in darkness. They don't believe it. And it was true in the Bible. In the Bible, there was never a time when the majority of black people were serving God. Never. Every time you pick up any place in the Bible, you're reading about the prophets of God and the few men that were with them. And those few men changed the world. You don't need the masses of society to believe a certain thing. You need a few men to believe it with all their heart and all their soul, and to serve God with all their might and all their courage. And those men become the government of those that don't believe. They become the rulers of the people in darkness, and they govern them with a rod of iron. Do you understand me, Azahab?
Absolutely, sir.
They don't need to believe. And there'll come a time when they'll obey, believing or not. What did Moses say? Moses came down off that mountain when he came to receive the law of God written from the finger of God. He came down, and the Ephraimite, the Puerto Rican brother, I believe his name, what was his name? Joseph?
Joshua, sir.
Joshua said, it sounds like brothers are training to fight. It sounds like a war. Moses said, that ain't no war. That's people having fun, playing, dancing. Moses got down off the mountain. The Israelites, all of them, had built a golden calf and wanted to go back to Egypt to be slaves again. That's the majority of our people. They will build, the minute they see that we are free, that we know the Jews are black, we know about the divinity of blacks and Hispanics, we know we are divine, we know that God made us to rule the planet. The minute they see us, they're going to fight harder to be slaves. They're going to fight that much harder to go back to Egypt. And they'll build a golden calf to tell the Egyptians, we're one of the good ones. We're not like those niggers. We're good black people. We're good Hispanics. Moses came down off the mountain now, and he said, whosoever standeth on the Lord's side, gird thy sword to thy waist and stand with me. And then they went and worked things out the old-fashioned way. You understand?
Khan, sir.
And that's all we need. We just need a few of us that will rule, a few of us who are in the light that will rule the majority in the darkness. That's all. So don't worry, those of them that don't, who gives a damn if they don't listen? Who cares? They're never going to listen, but then there'll come a time when they won't have a choice. I got to roll. 1 second. All right, let me read my Spanish. You want to say something? Okay. Let me, is that it?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Nosotros somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento práctico universal. Comenzamos en 1 Oeste, 125 en Harlem, New York, desde 1909, bajo del comando de nuestro general Yahana Carnales, y esto es la verdad. Si tú eres hispano, negro o indio nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo, el hijo de Dios. With that, shout out to headquarters. Give him a hand. Where we at? Chicago, who was in earlier. Baltimore, who was in here earlier. Give him a hand. I'll see any of you brothers or sisters that need to talk to me in person. Lord allow, I'll be in headquarters next Thursday. You need to see me for personal matters. You just be in class, all right? Also remember the West Coast Cookout. When is it, Asher?
December 1st to December 4th.
December 1st to December 4th, the West Coast Cookout. We'll be down there getting it on under the palm trees in the West Coast. Remember the Passover, which is on what day?
April 1st, which is a Saturday.
The Passover is on April 1st, Saturday. Before the Passover, we'll have the all-black party and different events. After the Passover, we'll have the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but the Passover is April 1st. With that, Kwam Yasha Allah.
Slack you, sir. Everyone can also check Captain Gadahar and Officer Shabal's Facebook pages. They posted the link for the resort hotel. That
the resort. What are you talking about, Asher? Bring that out for me.
Okay, Conster. The place where the Arawanium have booked is actually at a resort hotel in Las Vegas. It's called, if I'm not mistaken, it's called the Rio Hotel. Let me just get the actual name. Hold on one second. Sluggy, sir. It's extremely nice.
So wait a minute. You saying that the hotel that we're booking is in a resort?
It is a resort.
It is a resort in Las Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Hot tubs?
Jacuzzis and all that, waterfalls.
Jacuzzis? Grown people things in the hotel?
Yes, sir.
Being grown?
Concert.
Damn.
It's called the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino.
The Rio All Suites. So all they got is suites.
All suites.
All suites. The Rio Grande Hotel and Casino. And you're saying that that's where we should get our room reserved.
Constance, I'm gonna share the link right now where they have blocked off the dates of Friday the 2nd, Saturday the 3rd. Sorry, Thursday the 1st, Friday the 2nd, and Saturday the 3rd, leading up to the cookout on the 4th.
I think I might show up. I think that's what I might do. If I was you, I'd come on in. Anything else?
Lassa.
With that, clap it up. Well done, Akim. All right. Shout out to My Young in here, getting it on, rocking it out, getting it home. My Young, give him a hand. The water. All right. And that's it. The water to Asher, headquarters, Chicago, Baltimore. I appreciate it, Akim. All right, My Young, how do I get out of here?
Pass the class over to Precinct Officer Paratza from Yonkers.
We can come up now. They got it from the authority.
Men Israel, Amajim, which means stand. Men Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahba Hashem, Yahushua Rakata. Yazmatab, so, and turn to the sisters. Sisters, Amajim, which means stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men Israel, Amaj Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahushua Adon, Bashem Yahushua. Yazmatab, class dismissed.